Gentlemen, welcome to the Ride Boundless podcast. I have Mr. Eric here, Josh.
Appreciate it.
Daniel, can you hear us loud and clear?
I hear you.
Damn, if you only know how good you sound right now, like on the fucking mic. Outstanding.
Let's
trade places. So we're going to have you guys switch as the story unfolds, so we get everybody's point of view and story. Eric, where are you from? How'd you get into bikes? And what are you doing here?
I'm pretty much from the valley. Grew up, raised in the valley.
Pull the mic close, yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
You're good.
Grew up and raised in the valley. I started off with bikes. I got very lucky. Best friend of mine, his family grew up with old cars, motorcycles, a Honda Dream. I think it was a 68, and we started working on that. And then he had the Taco mini motorcycles, and we just had fun. And I do remember this. It's almost like the video you always see, the little kid that's riding in just like the green grass, and there's one tree. I was that kid that ran into the tree.
Nice.
I didn't turn or anything. Didn't turn, and everyone's
just
like
jumped
yelling.
on like, ah!
Yeah, and just kept going, turn, boom, and fell off. But I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. What about you, Josh? How'd you get into bikes?
Well,
You're from Santa Monica.
Yeah, born and raised in Los Angeles.
Fucking A.
And one of my friends had an old Honda XL something or other. And when his dad was away, we'd bring it out and spend a half hour trying to kickstart it. And
So you would steal his bike.
Huh?
You would steal his dad's bike.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I stole everything back then.
Damn right. Where's my wallet?
Where's my beer?
So yeah, I kind of learned, and I did the exact same situation as Eric here. I almost ran into the curb, but I actually made it. And I remember popping the clutch and flying off the back of the bike. And that was my first introduction to bikes. And then sometime around when I was 17 or 18, I bought my first bike and hid it from my parents around the corner. And I just fell
at a friend's house.
I think I just hit it up the street or something. Oh,
nice.
Yeah. So that's when I just fell in love with it. And ever since then, I've always had a bike.
Nice.
Or two or three. Yeah.
Daniel?
I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. I started out when I was a teenager being really big into mountain biking and building mountain bikes. My parents were pretty anti-motorcycle. And I had a good buddy who had a little Yamaha YZ50, little like mini crotch rocket bike. And that was kind of like the first time I barely learned to ride on it. And then I didn't ride for years. And then I moved to LA at 19 and became really good friends with this buddy of mine, Hakeem. I call him Dream Team, this North African French dude. And he was big into motorcycles, and he had a Triumph Speed Triple. And so I started off learning to ride with him. I remember going through Baldwin Hills on the back of his Speed Triple, and we were doing 130 through the curves, like fucking crazy shit. And I fell in love with it. He kind of taught me to ride. I took the rider training course, and my first bike I bought was a Triumph Daytona. That was my first brand new bike. And I've had quite a few bikes over the years. Now I have 3 Harley Dynas. I like building custom Harleys. That's kind of my thing these days. So I'm more of a cruiser guy than anything. And I do commercial motorcycle work for different motorcycle companies and stuff like that. And I try to keep at 2 wheels as much as I can.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Right on. This is the first time I've had 4 people on the podcast. So it's
really?
pretty intense and awesome. And, what is it about motorcycles that we crash and fuck up and we're like, yeah, this is for us? Like what is it?
It's an existential crisis.
Is it a crisis? Is there fucking wires twisted in our brains? Or
I just want to feel something.
Because it makes no fucking sense. I mean, I guarantee you in 10 more years when we're older, we'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you crashed and you wanted more of it? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I could totally testify. Like, during the pandemic, I remember I went down on the 405 freeway, and literally the very next day, I hit up my friend Kevin that owns Moto Chop Shop, and I was like, can I get a bike? Can I get a loaner for a little bit? He's like, you just went down. I was like, yeah, but I still need to get to work. I need a bike.
And it has to be a bike, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
there's a car.
Yeah.
There's those of us that get back on the horse, and then those that get scared away that never do. Because there's plenty of people that have one scary incident, and they're like, I'll never do that again.
Done, yeah.
Yeah, those are the smart ones.
Cheers.
Yeah,
I
Cheers
did,
to being idiots.
I did that with when I was like 18, 19. I bought a brand new Mustang. In that time it was new, and I couldn't afford rims, you know, like because I wanted the Cobra rims, and this guy at a tire shop's like, look, I have the Cobra rims, but the tires are fucking done. Like, you need new tires. I was like, I'll deal with that later. Let me. I just want the rims on it. Anyways, long story short, I'm in Santa Cruz. And I'm going towards the 17, and then the 17 is what connects Santa Cruz to San Jose. It's a fucking windy road, and it started raining, fucking tired. Anyways, I had like the gnarliest fucking crash. It was terrible. Next day, I asked my buddy, let me borrow his Porsche, and fucking just drove it as fast as I could just to make sure that fear wasn't there. Like, I wanted to test myself.
Yeah.
You know, but anyways, why the fuck do we do this shit?
It's important, man. I think it's facing your mortality. I mean, I think we all have those times where we know we have, like, for me, I have 3 bikes and no cars at the moment. Just because I was never driving my car. And I'm just
But you have 3 of the same bikes.
almost.
They're so fucking
they're
wild, bro.
They're
Yeah,
all
I get a low rider or fucking.
Yeah, well, one of them's a wide glide,
Right.
so it's like a cruiser. The other's a street bob, so it's like it dips and it
It's the
has
same
a different
fucking
personality.
bike, bro.
And I have a fat bob that
all Dynas.
is a bobber, and they're all black. And
they're all the OG Dynas, you know. So yeah, just different gas tanks and rakes, forks and rakes. Yeah.
pretty much.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But they make me happy, and that's what counts. But what I was gonna say is we have those times, you know, when you're a commuter and in LA, you know, you got a lot of traffic and stuff. I think it's natural and normal that we have moments where, I don't know about you guys, but you're like, I don't know if I should ride right now today, or you kind of delay going out on the bike because you just get a feeling, like an instinct that says maybe I shouldn't. But then ultimately we kind of do, and we get over it or whatnot. And I think that's the difference between us and a lot of other people is we take it very seriously. We have a healthy dose of fear, but then we also have a thing like, I got to conquer this fear. Like, fuck that. Like,
Yeah, for me, it's exactly what you're saying. The only difference in the thing that I describe it is many times I'm walking towards the bike and I'm like, why am I jumping on my fucking bike? Like, this is dumb. I rode all fucking week. I rode a long week, whatever the case is. But there's just something about when I throw the leg over the bike, once I start it, that fear goes away. Instantly. But if I'm sitting here and I'm not even next to my bike, it crosses my mind like, what the fuck am I doing?
Totally.
This is so dumb. Why am I doing this?
Well, and you have a child now.
Oh, I have two child. I have a 13. I have almost a 14-year-old, and I have a 3.5-year-old.
Yeah.
And the 3.5-year-old's like, Papa, take me to school on the bike, Papa. Papa, I want the black bike, Papa. I'm like, dude, I can't take you on the fucking bike. There's never been a fear of like, oh, something happens to me, my kid. That has never crossed my mind. It's weird how that. It's weird that's
Cognitive
never
dissonance.
been the reason. Yeah.
That has my boy is 5, and every once in a while it crosses my mind that anytime I
Well,
go
now
out,
you're talking about I'm fucked now. I'm not thinking about this every day. But go ahead. But it crosses your mind.
It does cross my. Before it was like fuck it, do whatever I want. I used
Yeah.
to ride around drunk and have fun doing it, and now I think differently.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got
No,
good life.
I look at you
insurance.
growing up.
It's your first boy?
Yes,
It's your first kid?
First and last. Yeah, one is enough.
Yeah. So when I had my son, he's going to be 14 in April. When I had him, I was working for I don't know if you guys remember the Van Nuys Harley Davidson dealer before they moved to Santa Clarita. So they were there for 48 years. It was a pretty cool spot. It was just a hole in the wall, you know. And anyways, that story was they were going to move to Castaic, and they bought a property there. But they found some fucking insect, and the city wouldn't allow them to construct the new dealership. And that was a new owner, and the person that owned the property says, hey, I just sold the property. You guys got to kick rocks. So Santa Clarita was an emergency move. That's why it's not off the freeway. So you know, by law, by requirement of a Harley Davidson dealership, you need to be off a freeway now. You know, and that's why Santa Clarita's like, they made that exception because it was an emergency move. They were supposed to be in Castaic.
And that's a branding thing that they do?
That's a branding thing because they want to make sure
You see them every time
Yeah,
you
you
fucking
see it.
drive
The
by.
sign. It's good for advertisement. It's good for people for test rides. You know, many things. Anyways, my point is when my son was born. Actually, it's a great story. when my son was born, I had a road glide, and this was 2008. You know, road glides weren't that cool in 2008 because they had the big windshields, clockwork. Nobody was making smaller shields.
They're cool now.
Well,
Covered in chrome.
they look fucking sexy. They're not that functional, but they're fucking sexy. I'll say that.
Just messing with you.
So I had a road glide, and Kevin James walks into the dealership. All right, Kings of Queens, mall cop. He walks into the dealership, and he's like, yeah, man, I got my tour bus. I'm going to ride my Dyna Fat Boy to Boston. And I was like, on your fucking Dyna? He's like, yeah, my Dyna. I go, dude, you need like a bike like this. And I already had fixed up, and Clockworks had sent me the shorter shield. I already did some customization. He goes, yeah, that's fucking awesome. You know, I want that. And I was like, well, we can order that, but that's my bike, and my son's going to be born in 2 days. And if I don't have a bike when my son's born, my wife's not going to allow me to buy a bike after I have a kid. I know, you know, like this is where the story all ties in, right? Yeah, because if I have the bike when he's born, it's like, what do you want me to do? Sell it? You're mean. You fucking. No, but if I don't have it, I have no justification. Anyways, long story short, he wants to buy my bike. He stays at the dealership for 3 or 4 hours. A buddy of mine, he's a comedian now, Dean Del Rey. We were working together. He walks up to me. I'm in the bike $17,000. Dean's like, he'll cut you a check for $30,000. I was like,
Goodbye.
Here you go.
here you go.
Here's the keys.
Fucking sold it. I was looking for a bike. Within 48 hours, Dean found me a FX DXT, like a fucking gangster, the 2003 gunmetal blue anniversary edition. Some attorney bought it at Glendale, did all PM fucking performance shit. Anyways, I paid the guy cash, got my fucking bike, had my son. And I've always had a bike. With
And never told your wife.
I never told my wife.
No, honey, that's the story.
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story, yeah. No, the moral of the story is you got to have a bike before your child's born.
How many miles were on that FX DXT?
When I got it, it only had 7,500.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, think about it. It was a 2003 anniversary edition. I'm talking about 2009. So it wasn't, it was like 7-8 years.
With the FX DXT fairing and the bags?
And the bags. First thing I did was sell the bags on eBay back then. They gave me 2,500. No, that's when it was hot.
That's a good deal.
That's when it was fucking hot.
Yeah.
On eBay back in the days. Okay. Anyways, Eric, what's going on in your life, man? You got a book that you've started, and you invited these wonderful individuals because they're part of your book.
Yes.
Break that down to us, man.
So it's funny. I used to be in the bar industry for 12 years, and then I switched over to medical science. But I always had a passion for the food, restaurant industry. And it's the one thing I always learned as being a bartender, I would trade drinks with the cooks to get the most amazing food. Nice. I remember once in San Diego, Bakersfield Bar and Restaurant, I got all the guys like 24 beers. I got home and I had rabbit linguine. Ooh. Who gets that?
Yeah, you.
Like for free.
Right.
For free. All I did is trade beer, And then I started asking questions, just like I did as a bartender. Started asking, like, how do you make it? How do you prepare it? Like, what's the process, this and that? And then I started falling in love with it, especially working under an amazing chef in San Diego. And he owned a fine dining restaurant, and his plating was like artwork. And I was like, oh, I love art. I love to paint, stuff like that. Can I do the same thing? So I started doing it at home, just with, some fried eggs here and there. And then I did an R&D about, I want to say 6-7 months ago with a place in downtown, and we were talking about cocktails. I'm out of the business, but the R&D caught me it just caught me off guard for a second. I was like, all right, cool, I'll do it. And then I was driving back home, and I was on the 10 freeway, and this spark clicked. I was like, what if I just write a cookbook? Wait, what if it's a motorcycle cookbook? And then I made a phone call. And then I made a phone call to a friend of mine that rides. I was like, hey, if I wrote a cookbook, because I try to make food for like friends, my partners, or whoever I'm with, and they always I take pictures too, and they always go, you should be a chef. I was like, no, I just don't want to do that. It's not my passion. I love to do it, but I love medical more. So
and medical pays more. No, I'm kidding.
Well, medical science, yes, absolutely. Yeah. But so I started talking to him on the freeway, and he's like, dude, you should do it. We'll invest in you as well. I was like, really? Okay. So then at the time I called my partner and I asked her, like, what do you think about this? And she's like, that's an amazing idea. Like, you are very creative. You love to build stuff and you love to make food. Go with both of those. You love motorcycles. You know the motorcycle community. I've been very lucky to know Joshua for several years through the motorcycle community, Motor Chop Shop. You know, I knew about Bike Shed before Bike Shed was even around, when it was just an empty building. And I got very lucky with Jenna from Stella Moto and Tina from Indian. We did a photo shoot and we stopped off in downtown. And they're like, you see that building right there? And it was all fenced off. And we climbed it. And we looked over. And she's like, that's going to be Bike Shed one day. That was crazy. 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, at least. They've been working on that for a while.
Well, yeah. And then the pandemic and stuff like that. But so I decided with this cookbook, I don't want it just to be my recipes. I started making phone calls and texts to, you know, several friends of mine that are very close. And I said, hey, do you have a recipe, a family recipe, something you'd love to make for, you know, your friends, your family, and so on? Can I have it for the cookbook? I'm going to give you recognition. It's all about you. It's not me stealing your recipe. It's your page.
But you're really going to steal it, right?
I'll tweak it and go,
Like,
okay, that's mine.
Is there a contract? No, don't worry. You know?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's fucking genius.
Yeah. So what I always told them was like, this page is going to be, you know, ingredients, instructions. This page is dedicated to you. You cooking, you on the motorcycle. I want to see, I want other people to see bikers in a different shade. We're not just I hate to say it because I don't cuss that much, but I hate to be that asshole that freaking, I split lanes, you're cussing me out because you're in your freaking box and I can get there faster than you. But we're real people. I mean, some of these guys are doctors. I got a professional chef. I got a celebrity chef. I've got a singer. I've got an actor in this. I've got a food blogger. I've got a gentleman that his family owns a pepper company. That's the community. We all stick together. Like, that's what I wanted to share with them as well.
Yeah, that's so great. Now, to talk about the book, like, my first question is it a book of just ingredients and then a story of who did it? Or is there, like, going to be storytelling? Or is it, you know, or is it just like a, you know, like, what does a cookbook consist of? Like, how do you visualize it? And how are you building it out?
So I want it to be a story.
Yeah.
Like, literally from the first page all the way to, I can somewhat show, like, my introduction and everything, and my thanking all the writers, letting them know I appreciate them. To one of the first parts of the book is, it's called, like, garage door. Like, when you go to a shop, that's the first thing you see is a garage door.
Yeah.
And then you open it up, the appetizer, it's your gloves, it's your helmet. It's the first thing. Just imagine you're taking a snack. That's the first thing you touch.
Right.
You know? So I want it to be a story. That's why I'm not going to release it until next year, because I want to go as many bike events where, like, I can take photographs.
Yeah.
I want it to be a real family story of when I see Joshua at an event for Halloween, I'm taking pictures. These guys always know I'm walking around with my iPhone and I'm taking pictures. And I bet they think I'm some crazy guy taking pictures, but it's stuff from my book. Like, hopefully the California's going to come back. Hopefully the Nowhere show is going to come back.
It's for nothing else, guys. Nothing else. It's just for his book.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, and, like, all these events, like Rolling Sands, and then DGR. DGR is, like, super, super, like, meaningful to me because I've been their medic for the past 6 years. I want to showcase them. And, like, I want to...
Oh, it's November, too.
I'm sorry, yeah.
It's November right now, November. Yeah. We got to do
I have Alex from Movember. He's going to be in the book.
Yeah.
So I have a page dedicated to them as well. I want people to see where these guys are just having a conversation, having a beer, you know, laughing, just randomly. Oh, these are real people. They're family, you know? Like, yes, we can separate and, like, you'll take the 405, I'll take the 101, split off. But at the same time, we'll text each other at the end of the night. You get home safe? Yes. Me too. Thank you.
The motorcycle community is amazing like that in terms of, like, bunch of burly dudes who at the end of the day really kind of care about each other and everybody's well-being. And you see a guy at the side of the road and he's got his hazards on or checking, you know, it's always a thumbs up. Are you okay? Are you good? If there's an accident, we all stop. there's a really special, mature community amongst bikers that we get a bad rep, and like how you're doing your cookbook, we can also be domesticated and foodies and kind of into the finer things in life and be educated and not just what the stereotype is. And I appreciate what you're doing there.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in this biker community, it's like, it's like whatever, 5% that are assholes, like fucking the guys, like for example,
1%.
Well, there's 1%ers,
Yeah.
But we can all be assholes.
But the general population, like, like when Bike Shit has an event, they're like, hey guys, it's, after 8, can you like not just rev your fucking engine just for the fuck of it? And everybody's like, okay. So there's a little bit of an asshole of us. But it's funny how each category, and I'm just bringing this up, I don't want to get too into it, but it's interesting how each category of motorcycle, like street bikes have their assholes, and the adventure bike guys have their assholes, and then the Harley guys have their assholes, and it's just
it's mostly just though, like if we're an asshole, it's probably because you did something wrong, like you cut us off or driving like a jerk, and we're letting you know, except for the ones that are just being loud and obnoxious.
Yeah. Now I'm at a point where I just avoid so much shit. Like my new thing is when I'm on the number 1 lane, if I'm splitting lanes and this guy just kind of even if it's by accident, just kind of leans in, or I don't know if he's on his phone, I don't know if he's doing it intentional, I don't know what the fuck. I just go off the left side. I just go, okay.
Just go around.
I just go on the wing. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, nah, I don't want to fuck with you, bro. Just pass as fast as I can.
I've noticed I've been riding for, 30 plus years around Los Angeles.
How old are you, bro? I think you're like 20.
I'm 52.
You look great, man.
Thank you. I've noticed that drivers seem to be a lot more polite these days.
In California.
Yeah, because they're used to people splitting lanes. When I was younger riding, I actually had people pull in front of me intentionally and do that crap. But nowadays, they move to the left or the right. They move out of the way.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing that I noticed. If you are splitting lanes at a consistent speed, people will move the fuck out of the way. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're splitting lanes at a slower speed and they kind of see you, they're like, oh, bike's coming. Let me move out of the way. And then they're like, fuck this bike. And then they kind of get like a little confidence. I've noticed that when I'm slower, I get a little bit more, bullshit. But if I'm consistent, they're like, oh, fuck, bike.
I just try and go at a speed that allows me to be predictable, so they can see my headlight or hear my exhaust.
That's what I mean, like a consistent speed that you're not like, because how some people get between 2 cars and they kind of like slow down between the 2 cars, and then they go. It's like you're being unpredictable. So I guess that's a better word. You got to when I write predictable, they're out of the way.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed too, and actually I had this thought today, is you go and you have cars that get too close and different things, and we're quick to, maybe flip them the bird or let them know, scoot over. But another thing that's important that I think a lot of us do now as well is when somebody does give us the right of way or pull over a little bit, we give them the peace sign. We use positive encouragement, just like in psychology that you do positive affirmations and different things are equally as powerful. And I talk to like people who are not riders, and they're always stoked when they like, oh, a biker gave me the peace sign today. Like I'm on the team. Like they feel good about
get excited about that.
About us encouraging the good stuff that they do. So we don't just have to punish or, show them when they're fucking up, but we also have to, give them the peace sign every now and again. And that actually really works. And
it absolutely does. Cause I remember I dated a girl. We were on our first dates and she never rode, but she said that every time she saw a biker, she would always move over, and she appreciated when she got the peace sign.
Acknowledgement. We all just want to be acknowledged, and an interesting thing that I've noticed in this last year, the best or most considerate drivers are UPS and FedEx trucks that are on the freeway when you're splitting lanes. I don't know how it is and why it is, but I feel like they always see me coming and they always pull over. And they're the most like conscientious drivers, and they're in these big giant trucks. And and now I've just noticed a pattern of it, and I don't know if they're instructed to do that or what.
Well, I think they're instructed to do it, because if you talk to any motorcycle attorney, they're like, dude, if you're gonna get into an accident, make sure it's an Amazon truck or a fucking, a FedEx truck or an Uber with an active passenger driving. that's okay.
Man,
You know?
I haven't heard that, but
I'll keep that in
something
mind.
to keep in mind.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're like, I'm gonna eat shit. Oh wait, that's not a fucking. Like, it makes a difference.
You know what you got to look out for? The buses, the Van Nuys ones that go to LAX, they are so on point. Every time I'm rolling up, they're like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, even before I start rolling up, they see me. I was like, dude, all right, awesome. And then I can speed up even faster.
Yeah.
Always on point.
Yeah. They're pretty good. They're on top of
They're
their shit.
professional drivers.
They're pro.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
pro.
Yeah,
They deserve to do those fucking jobs. Is the like? I mean, you kind of touch base on this, but is the book only for motorcycle riders? What if you're a skateboard rider?
Okay,
Or-
so no, this book is open to everybody.
and what makes it a motorcycle a book? Because is it like you could travel and there's gonna be recipes that you could travel on the like
So yes, definitely there's going
it's
to be
for
a
everybody.
chapter that like some writers I hit up, they're like, hey, I don't really cook that much, but when I'm on the road, this is what I make. Daniel actually is going to make a recipe that's on the road with his pepper company. And I appreciate that because not everyone's, at home cooking this and that. But if you're on the road and you can throw a couple things in your backpack, but you're going to have an amazing meal and you make someone else's day, like sharing that meal, that's what I want. Pretty much going to what you were saying. No, I want this to be an open book to everybody. Like, I want to share everybody's story, everybody's recipe. It could be a family thing, something you can make at home. But at the same time, pretty much I want it to be just open.
But it comes from motorcyclists.
Yeah,
that's the content is driven from the motorcycle community.
Yeah. So my main thing with this book, the first one, is because I have a plan for 3 books.
Yeah.
One is the first one, SoCal. Second one's going to be nationwide. And then the third one, I'm very lucky to know people all over the world that ride motorcycles to be worldwide. So pretty much everyone in this book has to be a rider. Pretty much my assistant, my partner, to even the people that are giving me recipes have to be writers. My photographers are writers. My ghostwriter, she's a writer. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
want to keep it in the family.
By the way, I'm going to be very disappointed if there's not at least one recipe where it's something you wrap in foil and cook on the headers or exhaust
Yes.
of the bike.
I know.
That actually
Thank
might
you.
be pretty cool. Like, I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah,
That's a thing.
There's
That's an
yeah.
old school motorcycle thing.
Well, I've done it in like old school cars because my first car was a 68 Cougar
Yeah.
with a 302 in it, and we definitely
Yeah,
put food in
wrap
it.
some fucking
Yeah,
foil.
absolutely.
Put it in there. So there's got to be those
I
recipes.
actually know a writer that I could like pass it off to, and I bet he'll do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Something simple, I'm sure, but it's cool.
You?
No, I'd love to do it. I'd probably end up ruining one of my bikes because the foil would leak, and then I'd have juice from a steak all over my engine block.
That would be great.
But hey,
Smells
seasoned.
good.
It's
there you go.
a
Seasoned, yeah.
seasoned cast aluminum engine.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, whose fucking dirty meat is that? Smell like bike
What'd you
smelling.
run over?
I want to piggyback a little bit on what Eric was saying, and the way that his books kind of inspired me when he asked me to, be a part of it. And I have the Mama Lil's pickled peppers, our pepper brand, that we sell pretty much at a ton of grocery stores. We sell at Costco. We sell at Whole Foods in the Northwest. We'll be at Gilson's here in Southern California and stuff like that. But I was trying to think of what would be like a motorcycle recipe, or and we was really kind of brainstorming with our team, which is based out of Portland, Oregon, of like what would we put in a motorcycle cookbook. And the one magical thing about our product is it really is good on everything. You can cook it with your eggs in the morning. It's good on, I love French bread with a little bit of goat cheese and peppers. It's great on sandwiches. A lot of pizza shops and delis carry it and whatnot. And so as I was trying to develop or think of a recipe, I was thinking it's kind of like a gourmet Swiss Army knife of food, of like condiments. And, the spicy trend these days, everybody carries hot sauce with them and different things like that. And I was thinking, our product, that I think what I want to do in this cookbook is kind of like, if you take, unfortunately it's in glass, but if you can protect it and put it in your bag, but if you have a jar of our peppers, you can go to the store and buy a avocado and make the most gourmet guacamole ever.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're camping, you bring it on, and when you cook your eggs in the morning or whatever your meal is, you add the peppers. And one of our things is we say, it's cheesy and silly, but we say the peppertunities are endless. Or makes the ordinary.
I got some laughing on the thing. No,
Or it makes the ordinary extraordinary. It really is, because they're these pickled peppers that are in a garlic olive oil.
Yeah.
And it really does make everything amazing. I hope you guys get to try them soon.
Yeah, we can.
But I
Can I open this?
Yeah, you may. Yeah, of course.
I can smell it.
Yeah,
Smell it, taste it.
That is that jar I'm actually using tomorrow.
Did you smell it?
Later tonight, I'm gonna put it in my chili that I'm making
smells
for
fucking
my chili cook-off tomorrow at Harley Davidson in Los Angeles.
At Harley Davidson, Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
yeah, I'm in the cook-off
So they're
over there.
So they're a pickled pepper, and then they're in a that we make. We have a few other products. We do pickled asparagus, pickled green beans,
The mustard.
a pickled pepper in a brine, a mustard pickle relish, and bread and butter pickles and peppers. But our main product is that, and yeah, I'm excited that you're going to be putting it in your chili. Did you get a little pepper in your nose? Yeah, nice.
Well, you don't have COVID, so I was just testing. I was like,
That
let's
was
see if he
like
gets
3 days ago. I'm good.
All right.
But I'm excited to, I think it'd be a really cool thing for, motorcyclists and people who are on the road a lot.
This is going to be huge.
You can carry it and add it to everything. So
It's going to be huge because, being around motorcycles for so long, when you think about like motorcycles and food, you think burgers, hot dogs, and like chili. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And to see like pickled peppers and fucking, people talking about tomahawks and different stuff. Like it's
But you
exciting.
stop at a store and get a sandwich, and you have this plain, boring
Fucking
turkey
getting hungry,
sandwich,
man.
and you put our peppers on it, and all of a sudden it's this fucking crazy, flavorful, shitty grocery or gas station sandwich. All of a sudden,
Oh yeah, just a little extra touch.
it's
like
just
that.
it's one of those things. Or you go get a slice of pizza, you stop and get a slice of pizza, you put the peppers on it, and all of a sudden that slice of pizza is 10
phenomenal,
times better than the cheap whatever. So it was a cool product, and it took learning about what he was doing to kind of think like, oh, this is a great format for a cross promotional type thing, and for the love of food and for the love of motorcycles.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much how
That's
I want the
amazing.
community to be. Like we're already like very close knit. Like we can call each other. It's so funny because like Josh, I would hit him up anytime. Like, hey, I'm in Santa Monica. What's a good food spot to hit? Because that's what he does. He knows every good food spot, and I'll be in like maybe Santa Monica, Venice, or somewhere random. I'm like, what do you think about like this place? Where can I eat here? This and that. And he's one of the first people I hit up first because literally I love his videos. I call his son Monster because he's the cutest little kid on the planet. Literally the cutest little guy on the planet. It's just a little nugget. And yeah.
oh my God, adorable. Those eyes.
See?
Those eyes.
Are you kidding me? Every girl I've ever dated, like I've show the picture and they're like, oh, he's going to be a heartbreaker. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
he is.
for sure.
Look at that proud dad right there.
Fucking A.
All right.
But what I appreciate is his artwork on how he talks about food, how he shows it off. He's invited me out and like totally fed me like till I was stuffed. And I was like, I got to ask this guy to be not only in the book, but when you agreed that I could be on this, he's one of the first people I asked. Like
You reached
you
out
have
to
to
him.
be on. Yeah, you have to be on this with me as well.
Well, I'm very honored to have all of you guys here. Like this is awesome, and I can't wait for this to be executed and done. Josh, what are these videos and these food things that you're so involved in that you do? What's your background? And
Well, I'm born and raised in LA, and one of the reasons I do this is because I have a motorcycle. Like you said, most motorcyclists, you think of hot dogs or burgers and stuff like that.
yeah,
Well, having a motorcycle allows me to travel around Los Angeles.
flexibility.
Yeah, unimpeded, and it's easy to get to all this great food. So
Yeah.
I'm not stuck with burgers and hot dogs all
Right.
the time. And well, I love eating, obviously, and I've had bikes since probably I was like 18 years old, and it's just fun. We put it together. At some point, I learned about Instagram, and I started posting.
What's that?
Right. Yeah. And I was like, oh, people actually give a shit what I'm eating. So I started getting more into it and started creating videos, and it just kind of grew from there. So now I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and they're all growing steadily. And
Isn't it amazing? And again, just because you did mention your age, isn't it amazing? Like the opportunities now versus opportunities back then. What we're doing now, like it's just fucking crazy, man. This social media and this posting. I heard a comedian or somebody talking about. They were like, if you go back 20 years ago or 25 years ago, and there was a girl or a guy, and they took 1 million pictures of themselves and their food they ate, and they're showing it to you in a photo book, like, oh, look at my photos. You'd be like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah,
The fuck did you just you took 100 pictures today? Like,
look at my food.
Yeah,
Here's my
like,
lunch.
But the
look at
ability
selfie. You know, like what's going on? But like now it's a legit business and it's an operation, and the amount of people that are affected and touched by these images or these stories or these videos, like you're really changing people's minds and, you know, health wise, like health for me. December, I really got into it. I started watching so many posts, but it changes. It's a beautiful thing.
and also the ability to self-promote and to also self-produce and get your stuff out there and to be seen without having to, you know, technology's cheaper in terms of recording ourselves with quality and not relying upon somebody else to put it out there and distribute it. We can all be kind of our own boss in a sense to do that. And hopefully the quality content, you know, cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be a lot of the, you know, vanity, narcissistic stuff out there as well.
Always.
But there's also a great opportunity for all of us to really kind of show what our perspective is on the world and get it out there and have people see it.
It's so important that if you start looking at where we're heading with artificial intelligence and self-driving cars and planes and drones and all this stuff, there's not going to be a lot of necessity for work for employees, you know, and what's going to be the number one thing, sorry about that, what's going to be the number one mover is going to be creative fields, you know, content creators, comedians, fucking actors, TVs, these shows. That's what the world's going to be like 100% about in the next 10 years.
Because everybody's just staring at their phone all day, and you got to give them
robots are doing the physical labor.
Well, here, I don't know if you guys heard the statistic, but there's a statistic saying men from the age of 18 to 55 years old, more than 60% of them drive as a profession. So we're talking about truck drivers, we're talking about delivery drivers, FedEx drivers, Amazon drivers, Uber drivers. When you have self-driving cars, that's gone. So imagine that's 60% of men that won't have a job. What are they going to do? Older men are going to be like, what? Am I supposed to learn fucking computers? And am I going to start doing social media now? And, you know, if we had to start social media today, it's like, fuck, it's hard work. Like we all at least have 2, 3 years, 4 years of doing this. But like if you had to start at zero
better start
today,
now.
you're like, dude, this is hard. And you better start now.
Yeah.
Even podcasting's starting to grow. And now I hear China's like fucking like, oh, podcasts are cool. And then the Latin community, you know, like, oh, podcast? ¿Qué es podcast? Me gusta podcast, you know? And it's still new. And we're kind of like, oh, man, everybody's posting. But it's not enough.
Finding your niche. You know, you got yours is motorcycle based, but it's how does that apply to so many other topics?
Yeah, mine it's weird because mine was motorcycle based, but it kind of wasn't. It's just when I started, I didn't have a studio. And I was literally riding my motorcycle to my guests, and I would ride boundless to wherever anybody agreed to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. So I'd go to Ventura or San Francisco, and I was like, "Oh,
mobile podcasting."
Yeah, well, it was either call it mobile podcasting or ride boundless, and I was like, "Yeah, ride boundless sounds cooler than mobile." But then I was stuck on the niche of motorcycles, and I was like, "Dude, I kind of don't want to get stuck on this." Because, you know, I had a neighbor, she was an actress, and I was like, hey, you should be on my podcast. She's like, but I don't ride a motorcycle. I go, it's not just for motorcycle. But I heard your other one.
Niche is great for, if you ever want to dial in and be successful in anything, you know, it's having that niche, that usually is
Is
part
the
of the
key
key
too.
to building
Yeah.
a brand.
And the good thing about having motorcycles as a niche, even though you might want to get away from it,
No, I don't want to get away with it, but I don't want to be known only for that.
the
if that
good
makes
part
sense.
though is motorcyclists will talk about motorcycles forever.
Right.
You know, there's endless content
Right.
for you.
And cred.
Right. And
You know,
street
cool,
cred.
cool cred. And
That
I,
was-
you know, I was thinking about what you were saying about, you know, constantly traveling around to find these different food spots and not being, you know, traffic being, you know, something. Every rider needs a destination. You know, how many times do we just want to go for a ride? You know, you want to go eat, but where do I want to try? But part of it is you want to go for a ride. So we kind of all find, do I want to go have coffee here? Do I want to go try food here? Do I want to do that? Because half of it is about the ride. The other half is about the destination. So it kind of gives you, you know, a spot and a thing to do, but really it's to get out on your bike.
Get
Yeah.
out, take a ride.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on a Aprilia V4 today, and it looked like all his gear was new and shiny. I'm like, that dude's probably just going to Starbucks.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But, you know, it's all good.
yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
Dragging his knee,
Taking
Yeah.
200
On his
from,
way.
like, to Starbucks, you know, whatever.
full leathers.
That's fucking great, man. Fucking motorcycle community people. You meet all kinds of fucking different characters, all kinds of walks of life. And it's changed people's lives too.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I love about
change
you
it.
got your bike shed hat on, is these places that are curated around the biker community. It's finally a place where you can go hang out for hours. And like you said, motorcyclists like to talk about bikes, and we
Yeah.
forever talk about bikes. And when you go there, you're like, fuck, I don't have to talk to these other people about a bunch of bullshit that I don't want to talk about. All of a sudden, we all have this same thing in common, and we can gab for hours about it, and it doesn't get boring, you know? And it's kind of like a happy place for those of us who ride, because we can all really share that common interest. And I always appreciate whenever
I'm always blown away because you're having a conversation with somebody and it's like, oh yeah, bikes, man. Oh, check out, I brought the streak light today. Oh man, like right, and then it's like, hey, by the way, what are you doing? It's like, I'm an FBI agent. I'm like, whoa, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Really? Like, yeah, man. I thought I felt your gun, bro. You thought it was my cock? No, bro. It was a gun. Like whatever. But like you meet FBI agent. It's like, what do you do? And it's like, fuck, you know, I own the place. And I'm like, what? And then when you, it's
I'm an accountant.
it's
I'm a
so
doctor.
Yeah.
fucking surprising the people you meet in this industry. Because for example, if we were to like play golf or tennis with 100 different people for 100 different days, I'm pretty sure I can guess the pattern within the first week. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, they're all accountants or
Lawyer,
real estate
doctor.
lawyer. Yeah, exactly. But this motorcycle thing, it's like fucking, you have no idea who the fuck you're talking to.
No, it's funny that you say that, because like even with DGR, we're all, you know, distinguished gentlemen. We're all dressed up, very fancy, this and that. But we do a pre-ride, and then, you know, years ago, I found out one biker, he's an architect, an amazing architect. And then this other guy, Big Rob, he's in finance. It's like $1 million
Big Rob.
fi-
Fucking Rob.
You know Big Rob.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Victory Rob.
Yeah, Victory Rob.
Victory.
And like, think about, look how he dresses and what he rides. Would you think he's in finance?
No. Not at all.
Hell no. But then all of a sudden he opens up, and like we had pizza one day and, you know, beer, and he shares his life story and then where he is now. I was like, holy shit, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought something else.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
That's a perfect
a
example.
bunch of
That's
kids bonding over two wheels.
Yeah.
You know, girls and guys.
Yeah.
You know, that all these weird, you know, different political views, different all kinds of things, and we all find this common thread.
Yeah, somebody will walk in and be like, fuck Trump and fuck this and nice bike. Yeah, I like your bike. Yeah, cool, man. Whatever.
Yeah, and the conversation goes straight to the
Yeah, it goes straight to the bikes. Yeah, what'd you ride over here, man? Like,
It's funny. It's like being a kid constantly. I'm 52 years old, and still, like, when I'm getting a new bike or waiting for it to come back from the mechanic, I still get excited like a kid at Christmas or Hanukkah. And I say,
yeah.
it's like, and I think we're all still like that.
Yeah.
That's something that motorcycles give you.
Well,
Every day.
another thought that crossed my mind as we get older, as I get older, I'm like, we're still the same fucking kids. We're like we're not like,
Hey, you want to ride
like,
bikes?
yeah,
Funny,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
ride bikes.
No, but like we're literally like we're exactly the same person we were 20 years ago. Just we might be a little wiser and a little bit more patient, but that's it. It's the same person. It's like the character. Like I could already visualize what you look like when you were fucking 10, 15 years old. Probably not much different from today, you know, just smarter, you know how to ride your bike and
More experience.
more experience. That's all we have is a little bit more experience, but we're the exact same fucking person. And like when I grew up, it's like, oh, adults is like something completely different, you know, and it's like, no.
It's funny. I have a small following on Instagram, not a big following at all.
No joke. I was about to just talk about your chat.
Oh, well,
Like
we'll get into that. But
Yeah,
I posted this, you know, the big thing is reels now, right? And I posted this reel and it's just a little video that I took of a couple of my bikes in my backyard. And the audio is this girl going something about, you know, boys, something, they grow from remote control cars to cars with big V8 engines and stuff and still wake up half the neighborhood type thing. I can't remember it verbatim. But for some reason, it hit the algorithm and went viral, where I have, you know, a couple thousand followers on Instagram. But in a week and a half, it had like 60,000 views on this one random video. And I have all these better videos that are cooler.
That's always
But it's just this one random video that basically talks about boys and their toys and how we graduate from little cars to bigger cars.
And nothing really changes.
Nothing really changes.
But
But what I mean is that went viral because we can all kind of relate to it, because it really is a interesting phenomena. We all just want to tap into our inner child. And I think that's men and women. I think that's also what we find attractive, like for me with women and whatnot, is when they mature, but still are in touch with that inner little girl or that inner child. And same with us. The motorcycles allow us to be in touch with our fun, you know, adventurous inner children.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about a bike is when I put on all my gear and I put my helmet on, I'm 16 again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, woo. I don't ride like I was 16. You know, everything's different.
It's interesting how powerful that feeling is. I was up in Oregon this summer, and I go back a couple times a year, and I've never owned a bike up there, but I've always wanted to ride in the summertime because you got these beautiful, nice highways, good roads, and these big, you know, forests, you know, pine trees everywhere and stuff like that. And just, anyways, I ended up buying a Harley while I was there for a week and a half, and I bought my
that sucks. That's
Street
awesome.
Bob just so I could ride for the week that I was up there.
That's awesome.
But I'll never forget, I was going out I-84 towards Mount Hood. My first ride on this bike after I, you know, got it all redone, you know, the brakes and everything ready to go and whatnot. And I was going to a concert that was out on the gorge, and I remember the sun was going down and Mount Hood was just shining in front of me. And I was literally weeping, like I was nostalgic, like happy tears, like I'm finally getting to ride, you know, after being a motorcycle rider for 20 years up in my home state, my hometown, you know, and just, I'm a 20-year-old or a 40-year-old man crying on a motorcycle because I'm so just elated for the moment and being in the moment. And that moment of Zen and meditation, what we get from it was so profound, but I love that. I think it's awesome.
I've had that feeling a couple times.
A week.
No. Riding down Highway 1 through Big Sur.
Oh, I love it.
It's just like,
my favorite.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful.
And you know,
favorite.
a lot of people will never know, you know, when they say like, you know, I live more in a few minutes on a bike than you've lived in your whole life.
Yeah.
Those are those things where it's like, unless you felt it, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've definitely been on the freeway, and you see like the dark clouds, and then there's just sun just piercing through. And I'm not religious at all, but it's almost like heaven just peeking through. And then people in cars, they don't see that. Like they look at it, they might take a picture, but like just appreciate that for a second. I'm like, damn, that looks gorgeous.
I had Derek Serenos. He was on my podcast. He was a F-16 fighter pilot.
Wow.
Navy, and we were talking about flying planes, how 3-dimensional it is, and how driving cars is not 3-dimensional because it's just like left or right or straight. And then I was like, well, motorcycles is kind of like more 2-dimensional as well, like more closer to a car than an airplane. He's like, nah, man,
You're leaning.
it's 3-dimensional, man. Like, cause you're literally looking at car tires turning into your lane. You're looking at their mirrors.
Yeah.
You're leaning. You're turning. Your weight. It's
feel
so,
the wind.
It's so three-dimensional.
Being on a motorcycle is kind of like flying.
Like
You're
kind of like
you're
flying.
just
No,
flying
yeah.
around the
Well,
streets.
I wasn't gonna say that to a fucking pilot, right? So I was
Well,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
played it down like it's not.
You gotta
it's more
peg.
like
You gotta
car,
peg
right?
those Navy
And he's like,
Air Force pilots down a notch, though. No.
yeah.
I'm ex-Air Force.
So-
Hush.
Yeah, no, but it was interesting, and to add to that point is when we do ride that bike, it's not only that hey we're on two wheels, this feels great. It's just the overall rumbling of the motor, or how the throttle hits, or how it brakes, or
Also, for me, riding a motorcycle is my daily. It's my therapy, and it's my therapy in that the way I like to describe it is it's my Zen or my meditation, and why that is because once you get on a bike, you're so hyper focused on the mechanics and being safe and what you're doing that all the little background noise, bullshit, stress of your day disappears. Not that you can't think about bigger thoughts and certain things while you're out riding, but you're so tuned in to that moment. And very rarely in these days are we able to tap in and be present in that current moment. And on a bike, you have no other choice but to do that. And there's a
agree, 100%.
freedom and then on top of that, you're also getting an adrenaline rush. Yeah. So not only is your mind focused and clear, but then it's firing because you have the adrenaline pumping through you. So there's never a more clear time to be in your head than when you're on a motorcycle.
Yeah, if I can piggyback off both what you guys said, you talked to the pilot, and that's therapy. When I was 16 years old, I was very lucky. My dad was an airline pilot, so I learned to fly. And it's exactly what you said. As soon as I got to the airport, I had to read my logbook, had to make sure everything's going, this and that. I could have the most stressful day, but I just focused on that. I'm up in the air in Van Nuys, and I was disappeared. I was gone. I was in a happy place. Same thing with the motorcycle. I remember there's a lot of times having arguments with my partner, and I told her, if I get very upset, I'm just going to take a ride because I don't want to argue with you. I don't want this to blow up. I want this to, be a safe space. Let me go take a ride. I'm going to cool my head because exactly what you just said. You focus on the bike that you don't care about the fight anymore. You start just
everything is trivial after that.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's life or death. It's like all of a sudden all the other stuff that I'm like, why did I even care?
No, literally, I come home happy, and there's times I'll stop. I'm like, oh, I know she likes Del Taco. Let me just pick up Del Taco real quick. I didn't even think about the fight anymore.
yeah.
Dead on, yeah.
No, it's important. I want to go back to kind of what I was saying earlier about the that moment where you're sitting on the couch. Sometimes you're like, man, I got to jump on my bike. It's so fucking dangerous. Why am I jumping on my bike? But the moment you throw over your leg, that feeling's gone. But that's for everything. Like if it's fucking cold, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking cold, man.
Yeah.
But as soon as I throw the leg over, it's gone. If I'm tired, if I'm, I have a rule: 2 wheels, 2 drinks. So when I go out on my bike and I have 2 wheels, I limit that.
I have one, but it's same thing. That's a good rule.
Well, I just go because it's just 2 wheels.
And
2
statistics
drinks.
will
Yeah.
tell you that's a smart rule.
Yeah. So, but if I'm a little buzzed, or if I'm cold, or if I'm hot, or if I'm uncomfortable, if I'm tired, if I'm angry, the moment I put my leg over and that bike starts, I don't know why, it's just gone. It's just boom, okay, fucking tire pressure, PCI. Let me see, my engine's rolling good. Let me gas tank. Now you're like
In the zone.
fighter pilot.
Do you guys, for me, like sunsets are my zen. Like I on a bike or off the bike. But if I am free, if I have free time at sunset and I'm not on my bike, I feel guilty.
That's fucking
like I'm like
beautiful.
or
bro.
like later or once the sun goes down, sometimes if I'm too busy, I'm like, fuck, I didn't make it out on the bike today. Like I feel like I did something. I feel like I did something like for myself that I neglected or something because I didn't get out like as much as I can, even if it's for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. It's just like if I can finish my work for that little period of time and go out.
But sunsets are your thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's actually a great idea. I should
Yeah,
make
every
that
day. I mean, people make fun of me because probably the only things I post on social media
Or sunsets.
are my sunset rides, and it's usually my bike is.
What's wrong with sunrises?
I love sunrises too. I just in
just
LA
early in
I
the
hate
morning.
it. Well,
Yeah.
so
Don't
when
wanna
I
wake up.
travel,
Well, at
I
the
wake
west.
up at sunrise every day.
Yeah.
But in LA, who wants to
and
deal
the
with
sun
sunrise
sets, yeah, sunrise,
in
yeah.
LA? Like
Coming over the San Fernando Valley. Whoa.
Yeah. It's actually a really peaceful time, but it also tends to be colder. And there can be a lot of moisture, a lot of dew and whatnot. And so you have to prepare for the ride a lot more by sunset. It's a little...
I just don't want to wake up all my neighbors at
Pretty much.
That too.
You roll the
That
bike
too.
down the street and then like, okay, I'm far enough. I can start it up.
Yeah, then I'm waking up those neighbors. Though.
Now, what did you ride in?
I rode a Yamaha MT-09. It's a 2017.
Good looking bike.
Oh, that is...
What is it?
Amazing.
What's the CCs?
I think it's an MT-09, but the engine is actually 849 cc.
Mm-hmm.
And I've owned a lot of bikes, and that is the most fun.
It is a great bike.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I currently have a Yamaha FJR 1300, which is my bagger.
Yeah.
If I want to go distance or if it's cold out, it's got the windshield and heated grips and all that. And I just picked up
I love heated grips.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Fucking heated
I
grips.
haven't tried it.
Oh my god, dude! You'll get. It's such a
Spoiled.
big help.
I'll
Oh
get
my
Yeah,
god.
all the little comforts, little creature comforts. And I just got I think it's a 03 Kawasaki ZRX 1200.
Nice.
Just kind of a retro bike. And that's my baby. That's the one I'm currently dumping all the money into.
Nice. The one that earned it all.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you came in the Dyna and before
I'm on my Y Glide today.
we talked about it before the pod when we started recording. You have 3 Dynas.
Yeah, I have a Street Bob, a Fat Bob, and
Y Glide.
the Y Glide.
Nice.
But I mean, I've had Sportsters. I've had a lot of different bikes over the years. I did the commercial for the FZ07, which is like
Yeah.
smaller version of that bike, and
But everybody loves that bike.
but it was a blast. We rode it. We took it out to El Mirage, the dry desert lake bed, where it's 6 miles of just flat land where you can just do crazy shit. And we rode in the hills, and
That's
those
fucking
those
dope.
are fun, comfy bikes.
Yeah.
How do you get a gig like that?
I don't know. I did a couple, I'd been writing, and I occasionally do as a side hustle commercial work and stuff. And then I started doing for Yamaha. I did a few different jobs, and for Victory I did another job, and then I started doing jobs for Harley. And then at that point I had a resume, and started getting more direct calls from my agent. And then also when I wanted to pitch myself, when I heard about, different jobs coming up, I had some experience. And so, what's one thing that if you're a production company and you're shooting bikes, you want to know that people can ride and have done it before and stuff. So that kind of gave me a leg up. And, I wish it's my dream job. If getting paid to ride motorcycles and prototype brand new motorcycles is probably the best job in the world. I wish I could
Especially before they release the bikes.
I don't get to do it every day, but I damn near will try anything or do anything I can to be that guy for whatever motorcycle company I can.
When I was younger, I was a motorcycle messenger for a few years, and I'm like, I'm getting paid to ride a motorcycle. This is awesome.
Yeah. Even if it's $10 an hour, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's better than.
No, that's absolutely amazing.
And a motorcycle is the I think about it all the time. Like once you have it, inflation, everything's getting really expensive. You want to go to a movie, you want to do anything. For $10, for half a tank of gas, you can go out all day and have the fucking time of your life.
All day, $10 right now? I don't know, man.
Okay.
That sounds a little
20 bucks.
20 bucks now.
bucks.
Yeah, 20 bucks.
But my point is, once you have the bike, there is no cheaper thrill and fun thing you can go do.
I always used to say, I was like, all I need is $20, and I got a tank of gas and some cheap food, and it's
Freedom is a full tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I have one of my bikes is I have a 1250 GSA, 7.8 gallons.
Oh, holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Was that this thing here?
Yeah. 7.8 gallons, dude. Like, just, and what, gas is what, 650 or something?
What's it like throwing that thing around a track?
I fucking murdered that track. I was kicking people's asses. And for me, I was just riding a bike. I'm just like, riding a bike. But the best reaction is there was these guys from like Oregon or something. And they were, I don't want to sound bad, but they were kind of, redneckish, and they were like, they said something like, hot dog, I've never seen anybody ride a GS around the track like that. That sure looked nice. I never even seen a GS on a track, you know, and I was passing people, so the reactions were pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's in that category of the guys like the Goldwing guys that can really kick ass.
Yeah, they're like, fuck, you know. No, it was pretty fucking amazing. But I was getting my racing license. This was, what's this place over here? Willow Springs?
Willow Springs, yeah.
Yeah, so Willow Springs. It was actually Motor Republic. Do you guys know Motor Republic? Mm-hmm. They're fucking awesome. Yeah. You know, Jeff, I'm sure, has some recipes for you too. But he had that track day where you pay $25 and you do like an afternoon thing. So that's why I took that over. Okay. And then somebody was like, Robert, you wanted to get your motorcycle license. They just started a class. And I was like, well, fuck it. And that's what I had.
Do you ever do the classic, what is it, the classic moto?
Classic track day, something
classic
like
track
that.
days?
I've heard of it, yeah.
No, the only other one I've done the regular track days, and then I did the one south passing Palm Springs, Chuckwalla, when they did the first Harley Davidson track race. And I took the street light there, and that was a big deal because it was the first time they allowed
Battle of the Baggers.
The Battle of the Baggers, but it was the first time they opened up a track. They gave a track day just for Harleys.
That's so rad.
Yeah, it was fucking.
I love this dude's
everybody was excited.
That's great because like I remember going to Willow Springs and being lucky enough to be part of the rescue crew in case somebody went down, and I saw what's his company? It's Jiffy Tune. I think they're down in Long
he was
Beach.
like the original Harley racer. Or
his Harleys were taking on Sportsters and just on that big straightaway, just vroom, and like you could see the Sportster just trying.
Not even
not
even able to pull.
No, his bikes were just amazing.
Yeah.
Can we just acknowledge how awesome the
Bagger Racing League is?
Yeah, the whole bagger movement of
dope.
Turning into this performance bagger thing is just I think it's so cool.
I don't know. I think it's going to be unhealthy for a lot of guys that don't really know how to ride. Look at these baggers.
No, but it's the modern taming of a bull. Like, yeah, anybody can ride a little 350-pound race bike, but you get a 900-pound bike with 150 plus foot-pounds of torque.
No, it's insane.
It's a whole different
The
story,
reason I got the license is because I was like, you know what? Maybe I could convert my fucking street glide. And that was my idea, right? After I finished this, I was like, dude, I got to spend another $40,000 on my street glide just to even qualify for one of these fucking races. Yep. And then that's when that fucking YouTube video popped up of fucking the Indian crashing. And I was like, dude, these baggers don't crash good. No. Like these things, these things like,
there's a lot of stuff to repair.
There's a lot. And I was like, you know what? Insurance. So for me to enter this, it's going to cost me so much more money, where with the same license, you can get a fucking R6.
Yeah, but you could race a Miata or you could build a Porsche. It's like...
I don't think it's the same, man.
It's a whole different
I don't think it's the same.
It's just a different thing.
I think the closest comparison to that, it's like, okay, Miata or a Porsche would be like, okay, a Yamaha or a fucking S1000 or a Aprilia Ducati or something extreme.
Yeah.
But once you go into bagger, it's like saying... fucking Miata or an RV
or monster truck.
Yeah, like it's so different.
This is actually how I ended up with that Yamaha FGR 1300, because I wanted something, comfortable if I wanted to go distance, but I've had a bagger before. It was a Kawasaki bagger.
Oh, that's not a real bagger, dude.
Well, okay.
Did you just say that?
I actually own one. I wanted to try it, and it was the worst experience I had. So I'm like, let's try the FGR. It's been around. It's like the third generation. It's been around 20 or 30 years. Let's give it a shot. And I got it, and it's like, it's got the bags, and it's got the windshield, and
it looks like one.
150 horsepower and 100 foot-pounds of torque and good suspension.
Yeah.
So if I come to a mountain road, I can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Without putting 20 grand into it.
Right.
It's just right out of the box.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
It does, yeah.
I got a question. So you got your race license, what I don't know. So in California, right, if you want to buy performance parts, exhaust parts and stuff like that, they won't ship them to you because they're illegal. But when you have your race license, I know race shops can, because like Vance and Hines is here. Can you specially, once you have your race license, can you get performance parts with that?
That's a great fucking question. I'm not sure.
I've been trying to find somebody with that answer for a while.
Yeah.
Usually,
last week I interviewed Mookie. Mookie's like a 25-year-old. He's not 20. He's been racing and training and knows all those fucking questions. But he's been doing that forever.
Because if you can go online and order like exhaust, right? And then you pay for it, and then they'll refund your money and say, we can't ship it to California because it's illegal.
Try this next time. Call them on the phone, tell them what you want to order, and say it's for off-road use only.
Yeah.
I've heard that works.
Or track.
Interesting.
Yeah, off-road use.
Or track. That's what you made me
for
think.
track.
I'm like, if it's just for track.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't know if having the credential of your race license would be enough to.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably. Depending who you're talking to. Come on, Stephanie. I'll send you a copy of my license. Yeah, I heard you're the coolest one there. Come on, Steph.
Well, they just need to know that it's not.
You're
being
being so
used.
anal, you know.
They need to know it's not going to be used on the street.
Yeah.
Well,
no, exactly.
There's like
My
beautiful
Dynatrack
helmets.
bike.
Yeah, maybe they need a VIN number and a copy of the license.
Yeah, there's some beautiful helmets that I would love to order from Europe. And then when I contact them, they're like, well, you can't really ride with them in the United States because they're not DOT. I was like,
Yeah, but nobody's ever gotten pulled over for not having
I always tell them, like,
I import
I'm not gonna
roof helmets all the
ride
time.
with them. Yeah, there's a helmet company that we talked about.
French roof helmets.
And I was like, I'm not going to ride with it. Yes, I am going to ride with it, but they don't need to freaking know that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not your business. You're getting a freaking paycheck.
It's my head.
Shut up.
Does anybody know? So they said in 2035, no car manufacturer will be able to create combustion motors, right? Mm-hmm. Does that apply to motorcycles?
I bet. I'm trying to build an electric bike right now. I wouldn't doubt that it will.
They'll still. I mean, they just can't sell new ones.
Right. They can't. They can't manufacture and sell new ones.
But and actually, the future, I think, as much as we don't like it, I was actually just watching a whole thing on it the other day. We will be riding electric motorcycles because they're faster, they're more efficient. They'll have all.
No, they're fun as fuck.
And the battery technology when it catches up and stuff like that. You'd rather have an electric motorcycle, but I think we like the nostalgia of an old gas powered motor, but a new gas powered motor in 2035 I don't know if it'll still have that nostalgia factor that the ones right now do.
Well, a lot of it is the sound.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Oh, I feel so vulnerable. on like when you ride a live wire. It's like you're riding in like Tron, like the sound of it and the feeling. They're super smooth. They're amazing bikes. They really are. But you don't feel like you're on a motorcycle, and you feel like just waiting to get clipped in traffic.
Yeah. Every time I've had all my bikes, I always put exhaust on them because without it, it feels unsafe because people can't hear you, and it sounds like a sewing machine. But what they're doing with some of the electric cars now or bikes is building in some kind of noise somehow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a new electric bike
and some of them sound like shit, and actually some of them sound so futuristic.
Cool. There's a new one that I just saw, and it straight up sounds like a bike that should have been on the TT races. It was like, I was like, wait, that's electric? Okay, all right, I'm interested.
You've seen the atrocity of the new the Charger or Challenger, the new Dodge that's electric. That they're not making the gas one anymore.
I'm not mad at it.
No,
but I'm talking about the sound of this, But it's like making it sound like a muscle car.
This is my opinion on the sound. I have a live wire, okay, and I have a Street Glide, the GS, and I have a live wire. And my thing is, with my experience, these fucking lights are 10,000 lumens each one. All right, they're fucking bright.
The Clearwater.
The Clearwaters, exactly.
Right, yeah.
The Clearwaters, I've noticed with lights, people move the fuck out of the way better than the sound. Because exhaust, unless if you're under 20 miles an hour or 30 miles per hour, it's behind you. You've already passed. It doesn't help anybody. We do that for ourselves, sir.
True.
You know, we do that for ourselves.
Funny trivia, though.
I'd say 70-30.
On an inline...
At under 20 miles an hour, they'll hear you coming. After 20, dude, you're passing them. They don't even hear it. They hear it after you pass. It doesn't help you.
The fun fact, for an inline four, the sounds cancel out and they go behind you. But with something like a Harley Davidson that's making the pop, pop, pop noise,
Yeah.
the explosions,
Again-
that travels in every direction.
But again,
At over 700 miles an hour.
yeah,
You have to be going really fast.
at a certain speed,
only-
they only get the back of it.
I get you.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when you're just cruising, then you be like, move,
No,
bitch.
I'm
Yeah.
all about the lights.
But
I have
lights-
my high beams
so
on.
my-
I
point is-
ride with my high beams on all the time, and if I were to ever get pulled over, I'm just like, fuck you, I'm being safe.
yeah.
So this is I had Curtis Motors. Are you guys familiar with them? They make the most They make like the Arch motor,
Okay.
but of electric bikes.
Oh,
And it's the most balanced, sexy. The battery's a cylinder, so after like fucking 10 years, you just pull out this cylinder and you can put a new battery and it'll just last forever.
The core.
A core, exactly. I was telling about this, and here's how I describe it. Like with the GS, I feel like when people see all the fucking lights, people move the fuck out of the way.
They
because
think you're a cop.
They think it's a cop.
Yeah.
There's an
You
authority.
just gotta get a little bit of blue
Yeah.
or red in there. And
There's
you're
a,
fucking
there's
golden.
an authority that people move the fuck out of the way. On the Harley, it's like it's the gangster thing, like bah, bah, they think I'm gonna break their windows or something, and it's like, and on the live wire, you just feel like a fucking ninja, man, because you're just like, you're just fucking sliding through all over the place.
I have these I put super bright LED headlight just on my,
I think that's the
not
best.
this one. Well, it does have a bright one, but on my street bob. And, a lot of times, when you're waiting at like a traffic light and you're trying to split lanes, but there's always those cars that pinch you off and they won't. What's up, man?
I've never showed this angle.
Yeah, I was gonna come over there and pop my head in for a minute, but then I thought,
Fuck it,
I'm comfy on the couch.
now we're gonna be the voice behind it.
But I noticed that instead of revving, a lot of times I just turn my headlight into their
Into
their
the
rearview
mirror.
mirror.
Yeah.
And it is so bright that they eventually or quite quickly pull over.
Can you fix the Woody so we can see Woody behind you? There we go.
No, it's funny because on my Honda Shadow, I've got a light bar, and then on my crash bars, I got 2 LED lights. And it's funny, I learned it at Moto Chop Shop when he installed the lights. You click it on once, it's fine. High beams. Click it on twice, again high beams. Click it on 3 times, it starts flashing like a cop.
Nice.
Oh, I learned that. I take advantage of it sometimes here and there.
Yeah, lights is definitely the way to go. If you want to be seen and you want to prevent accidents, you want to prevent people from coming into you. Like it's definitely the way to go.
And I think
definitely
that's the
use
thing
it.
as we get older, is as we become more experienced riders, it's controlling our environment, our space cushion, our escape routes, and our visibility.
Well,
I'm never going to be the guy that wears a neon vest or anything
No,
like that.
same
But
here.
I'm going to have bright lights.
6
on my
months
bike.
later.
That's one,
Did you get a job in construction? No.
Yeah.
that's one strategy I use when I'm splitting lanes on the freeway is I'll weave left and right so people are
Yeah.
more likely to see
Yeah.
my headlight.
Yeah, like, we're like, more dramatic.
And even
Like you-
or
I
even
do that
just a
shit all the
little
time. You have to.
extra pump on the brakes to kind of get your brake light to flash a little bit more when you're
Oh,
hitting
yeah.
the brakes and
Yeah.
or you're sitting at a light and stuff like that and being conscious of. And I had an interesting conversation with somebody the other day. He drives a Tesla now, and now with all these self-driving cars, he himself admits to saying, I pay so much less attention, especially on the freeway, because the car is driving itself. So and you're encapsulated in a car that has good soundproofing and whatnot. That now they don't hear us, and they're really not. Their attention span is less than 50% or whatever than it ever would be before.
Yeah, but the car's 100%. I'm look, again, sorry for interrupting you, but this is, I feel very strongly about this, and this is recent. I can't wait till everybody has a self-driving car.
Yeah,
Okay.
It would be so much safer.
Emotionally, people are so fucking dumb,
Oh, yeah.
and they're texting, and they're eating sandwiches, and they're mad that they're going to their stupid job, and then they're mad that they're not riding a motorcycle. Then they're fucking, like the traffic gets worse, the road gets worse. They're so. I've split lanes, and you're looking at the rearview mirrors, and when you look at the rearview mirrors, what are you supposed to see? Their face. You're supposed to see the person's face. If you see their face, they see you. That mirror is pointing at the sky, at the ground. I'm like, people shouldn't fucking ride.
And
drive anymore.
And those self-driving cars have sensors, so they sense us and feel us just like
infrared. They have fucking everything, sonar. They have fucking all kinds of shit, man. I was in the test
until we fuck them up because we're doing some weird erratic shit as we
Right.
split lanes and go
We're
around.
trying to trick
and
it.
that's
We're
not
trying to,
in
like,
their
yeah.
algorithm. To
Yeah, we're like,
how
I'm gonna
they
fuck this one up. Like, yeah,
I don't think it's like if. I think it's when. It's definitely gonna happen.
Oh yeah. But when it happens, that's gonna be way better for us. I promise you, it's gonna be way better for us.
As long as we don't have to have self-driving motorcycles.
It's not a long. It's in the
BMW is doing it.
Oh, I saw
They
that.
have one where the kickstand kicks up and it goes around the track and fucking then it parks. The kickstand comes down, shifts and shit.
Yeah, well, and Honda has the gyroscopic motorcycles that don't need kickstands that can just park.
Yeah, eject.
Park. No, well, they can even at a stop they can stay up and then
They just eject at the red
fall.
light and then you go forward and it just continues. No, but BMW has a self-driving GS.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking insane. So
Sign me
I don't know
up.
if I'd want to ride that, but for fucking ordering pizza and that comes.
Well, that's the whole thing. Part of like or get me home. I'm drunk.
Right. Yeah. I could have used that many.
Take
times.
me home, bicycle. All right, we can turn the camera around back on you guys.
It's like, get this thing off me.
fucking casting couch, you know.
I felt I was so comfortable this whole podcast until you turned the camera on.
You go back to picking your nose over there.
Just finally, I can take my pants off again.
Finally, man. Finally. All right, Eric, come on. What have we missed? Oh, can you send me that to my phone?
Yeah, I can absolutely.
Do you want me to play that?
I was going to ask if I could.
Yeah, send it to my phone.
I appreciate, what he says right there.
Yeah. Send it over to my phone because this is all hooked up to the Chingaderas. And
Okay, if you guys want to talk about something at the moment.
okay, not a problem. So, how about them Dodger? Anyways, I had somebody on the LA in a Minute. They were on the show, and they were telling me that they fucking there was a Mexican family that was living on the land. Mexican families, and there's videos of them just ripping the families out, and then they would bulldoze the house. And then there was a church and a school. They knocked it down, put the concrete on it, and now they're saying under third base is where the church was. And now there's this whole thing called Under the Blue, and there's this whole backstory of like fucking, how they're trying to justify and get money back to the people that lost.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was
some
pretty
weird
fucking
eminent domain.
wild shit.
Yeah, when you go back into the history of Los Angeles, a lot of people got screwed.
Yeah.
Building the airports and all kinds of shit.
And by the way, LA in a Minute, he's awesome. Everybody should follow him.
Evan Lovett, LA in a Minute. That podcast was really fucking good. We're gonna redo it. We're not redo it. We're gonna do another one soon. We had a blast. It was the first time. This is the first time I've had this many people with mics on the show. But like that one, I had audience. They're like, "Oh, LA in a Minute, fucking LA," because I have a buddy of mine that's a developer and he loves that shit. And he was like, "Can I be there?" And and they were sitting here. It was cool.
I'm a podcast virgin, by the way. I'm
Are
happy
you?
to be here. This is fun.
This is my first time as well.
Oh,
really?
fucking awesome.
See, the one reason I thought about bringing you is because you're always on video all the time. I was like, oh, he knows what to do. He knows how to talk. And like, it's going to make me feel safe. So, I might push the mic on him even more.
I was worried because like sometimes I can just go on these random tangents.
That's
what this is about, man.
That's
Like
funny.
That's what's
'cause,
fun and entertaining.
Before I left the house, I was a bit nervous, and I've been very lucky. I've modeled and I've been, doing catwalks and this and that. But then out the door, my partner, she looks at me and she straight up says, like, you got this. Don't worry about it. Like, don't get into your head. And two, don't over talk. Because when I do get nervous, I'll just, and she sent me a text as well. She's my ghostwriter and my assistant. But she's like, just don't over talk.
Don't over talk. Yeah.
Okay.
You're over talking again.
But
Yeah.
play that.
Let me play that. I love this.
Right?
I love this. This is Michael Jordan. Yeah. I love this.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the
you can't
motorcycle
hear it.
thing because I hate that. I want you to know that.
You do.
I
Has
do.
he gotten you on a motorcycle?
Hell no. No.
I'm sorry, the seat's not big enough.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I hate the fact that he rides motorcycle. It scares me to death.
Because
It's not safe. It's just not
even
safe.
with a helmet, you don't think it's good.
Well, his head, man. He don't need no helmet for his head. He's the most stubborn
never saw the
person
full
you
interview.
ever gonna meet in your life.
I saw that clip. Yeah, when
when
he's
you
like,
think about it,
right here.
Seeing
you
this,
ride
how
a
many people
motorcycle.
wanted to go ride with
you have to be a defensive rider. You have to be a defensive driver. You don't have time to talk on the phone. You don't have time enough to eat. You don't have time enough to do a lot of things that most people do every single day, which is more dangerous than riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You have to really be focused on seeing the traffic ahead. He doesn't know about this. He's never ridden a motorcycle. He never understands what it takes to be a winner.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, I'm going to give you a statistic that I believe I personally came up with, and it's just because I sold so many motorcycles, and I've seen many accidents, and we used to service the police bikes, and we would hear the stories. But what would you think about this statistic? And again, this is just me saying this: 95% of motorcycle accidents is rider error. Eric,
Not for myself. No.
no.
No, because the 2 accidents I had were because of somebody else.
100%.
Oh, 110%. Yes.
Okay.
I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
You would agree with that?
I'd agree with it because even when crazy shit happens, a lot of times it's because we didn't allow ourselves space to avoid that. Where if we been a little more in a position, but accidents do happen, and there are a lot of times
100%.
totally are our fault. But
Yeah.
so I wouldn't say it's right or error in that it's their fault necessarily,
Yeah.
but maybe could have been mitigated or avoided if other measures were taken by the rider.
Josh?
I think it might be slightly lower than that, but yeah, I know.
I started with 70, by the way, but as 5 years ago it was 70. Now I was like, okay, it's going up.
And that's a
up.
real statistic.
That's a statistic that's
By who?
that's by me. That's
that is by-
that's by me. That's by 20 something years in the industry.
5% of the time, it's a tire blowout or a.
I as of right now, I don't know your accidents, so I'm going to add that to the list. I know 2 accidents that was just so fucking random. One of them was my mechanic. He was taking a bike for a test ride. Somebody did a fucking YouTube video, and they made a YouTube a
U-turn out of a parking
U-turn
lane.
that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
They hit him. He fell. He was on blood thinners, and he was like bleeding out.
Oh, yeah.
And that one was fucking crazy. And then the guy ran off.
Yeah.
And then so that was one. And then another one was a buddy of mine recently. He was just going to work, but he works he's a truck driver, a garbage truck driver. So he was going at 3 a.m. and he went from the number 2 lane, switched over to the number 1 lane at 3 a.m. going to work. And there was that was a freak accident. There was the 2 tires of the trailers that's like 250 pounds standing up in his lane, and he just fucking hit that.
Yeah. And those, what a deer comes running out.
Right, a deer. So I see
at
them.
night, a pothole that you don't see because I've had that happen. Those aren't your fault. Or gravel on the side of the road. But the thing is if you're riding on a canyon road and you're hugging the gravel side of the road and you're riding at a crazy speed, it's kind of it's not your fault because you hit the gravel, but it's also your fault because you hit the gravel too hard.
They have speed limits for a reason.
Right, exactly. They have speed limits. So, for example, this is proven statistics. The 2 biggest accidents that happens is one is the T-bone, and again, it's. I've heard that 1,000 times.
Because people don't. The profile of a bike from a distance doesn't change like a car. So people's depth perception and the way that they see objects moving closer, is totally. They can't judge the speed.
And not only that, but when most people are going 50, 60 miles an hour on like Ventura Boulevard or Van Nuys Boulevard, and it's like. Really, dude? Like, nobody thought you were coming that fast for the exact same definition. And the other biggest accident is when people go through canyons or turns, they run out of road. Yeah. Those are like the top
They
accidents.
miss the turn.
Right. So then you
They
get
run out of road. They run out of talent.
They run out of talent.
But like, I've had a couple of my accidents, totally not my fault. One, my most recent one is traveling in the number 1 lane towards the which to those who don't know the number 1 lane, obviously you do, but is the one closest to the middle of the road. On a.
Oh wait! I didn't.
In other states, it's called the passing lane. In California, it's called the fast lane.
Yeah, the number 1 lane. So going up Centinela, and a car pulls out from a side street with a controlled stop sign into a busy intersection to turn left and stopped in the middle of the road. So made an unsafe, move out into the middle of the road, but instead of continuing doing the turn, just stopped right in the middle of 2 lanes of oncoming traffic. So not your fault, but you're not anticipating that somebody's going to run into a busy street from a side street without looking and then stop in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Another time being in the number 3 lane where 3 lanes are going straight and a car from the number 2 lane last minute decides to turn right across a full moving line of traffic. And that was not my fault, but a serious learning experience where you go, oh, I won't approach intersections in that lane with a car that might potentially do that ever again. So though it wasn't my fault, I'm not going to put myself in that situation again without being extra
careful, cautious. Yeah.
You live and you learn.
Yeah. So what I tell people, like my recommendation for new riders is take the courses.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like if I had to be a new rider today, I think it's scarier today than before. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't know what that logic is.
People are on cell phones.
Cell phones, huh?
No, you can definitely see in the side mirror all the time.
Yeah.
And then I have no problem going right by their window and just revving as hard as possible. I don't care. I don't care if it scares you. But why are you on your freaking phone?
Yeah, it's cell phones. It's cell phones.
I think that's the only thing that's really changed.
It used to just be radios. It used to just be changing the radio station or looking for a song.
Or eating a hamburger.
Or eating a hamburger. But now it's everybody has a dinging, buzzing
they're very
thing that is their
and they also have these infotainment screens in their car, and they're paying attention. I've seen that actually while I'm riding. Yeah, people are tapping the screen on their car.
Yeah,
and this is just something we have to deal with. But
but it's our responsibility to, like I said, to create that space bubble and
100%.
escape route, because we should expect that all drivers are trying to kill us all the time.
Right, right.
That and I always tell people my other piece of advice is ride aggressive,
defensively
aggressive, but don't go over your motorcycle's limit. Don't go over your limit.
No, you're never ride outside of your rideability.
Yeah. Well, no, your bike's limit too, because for example, I'll be splitting lanes at a high speed, and then there's people like catching up to me, and I'm like, this guy just doesn't have ABS. Like, what the fuck? If there's an
I'm a Harley with a
emergency,
single disc front.
Right, exactly.
Front disc. My
your limitations
braking is limited. It's not that it's bad.
And you still got to pump, if you're going to brake.
Yeah, but I don't have ABS, and I'm on a big heavy bike.
You can lock your front tire. You can lock your back tire.
And the thing is, and until you've as a new rider really pushed the limits of say your brakes, for an example. I know exactly how to progressively brake and use that front brake and not lock it up. But it took me locking it up and going down to learn that. And until sometimes you have those things, you don't know, because there's that threshold with braking, where all of a sudden you're there and then it's gone.
Right.
It's like a thing. And a new rider doesn't know that.
Oh,
and there's a million lessons like that.
Right.
That as
experience
a seasoned rider gets. And it takes almost killing yourself a bunch of times and surviving to learn those lessons. And so you really worry about other riders unless they're really, I've been riding for 20 years. I still weekly watch multiple videos on how to be a better performance rider. I'm still training to be a better rider.
That's very impressive, bro.
It's not that I've been riding for 20 years. I don't need to learn. No, I still need to understand and ingrain myself in the mechanics and the physics of how all bikes work, how my bike works, and all those things. And I don't suggest riding a motorcycle to anybody that isn't willing to do that.
One thing I did learn, and I do appreciate from, used to be the host of DGR, Sam Bendel. He took a course at the Supermoto. After that,
Supermoto's amazing.
Yeah, he recommended to everyone. He's like, I'm taking this to the streets now. I learned so much about turns and this.
That's
and that.
what all the racers are training with is Supermoto these days.
And he said, I'm gonna everything I learned, I'm putting it on the street now. Mm-hmm. And when I heard that, this was maybe
it's just more functional.
2-3 years ago. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that course one day. I still haven't, but I want to.
All bikes are the same, whether they're a bagger or a dirt bike or whatever. In terms of the way the weight distribution works when you hit the front brake and the way the back brake works and different things like that. The physics don't change. The bike may be a little bit different and you have to adapt, but a front brake is a front brake and a rear brake is a rear brake, and a lean angle and pressure on the tire at an angle is constant, whether you're on like I said, a scrambler, a dirt bike, a Harley, street bike. They just have different thresholds.
Yeah, I guess the biggest difference of what you feel between different bikes is at low speeds. That's the only time you feel like the actual weight or your rake is too far out and you can't get that turn. Like
the big wide back tire.
That bagger that I had for a minute. Yeah, trying to ride, it was like top heavy, and just trying to split lanes around the city was fucking awful. It was so bad.
Yeah, but that's because it was that bag.
Oh yeah.
I swear I did my DMV test on my street glide. No problem. I like a fucking crowd. Like,
have you seen those cop competitions?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
I had
actually courses on it.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah, they do it in Hawthorne.
Their throttle
Yeah.
control. Those guys. Hats off. Those are the best.
Yeah.
Low speed
hold my
riders
beer.
ever.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, that's
Some of the guys that are in our chat have done that course.
Really?
yeah, that course is awesome.
Yeah, Franco. Actually, Franco.
Yeah, Franco, was on the podcast.
Yeah.
They just push that thing around.
Yeah.
I had you would enjoy that episode. I had a Detective Quinn Rediker. He's a rodeo police bike rider, like does the stunts. He was #1 in the globe. Like he would go to Europe and do challenges. This guy's fucking. He does the K1600 BMWs with front tire wheelie, like badass. Anyways, the reason I'm saying you would like that podcast is because he talks about like I'm going to use romance, but he talks about the romance of riding bikes back in the 70s and 80s and what it was to ride your bike over the fucking into Santa Monica or Malibu, because he lived in the San Fernando Valley. And like the story of, you know, meeting up some girls at the beach and just fucking playing volleyball, coming back cold over the fucking canyons.
Oh,
like,
this is my life.
It was, that's why I'm saying you would appreciate that episode, because we do talk about the craziest police chase he ever had on a bike, you know, which was like he was chasing somebody and then that person was like, running away. And then they fucking busted a U and were coming straight at him. And he's like, what the fuck? So there's a lot of fun aspects like that. But that San Fernando Valley of like, he's like, Robert, you don't understand, man. You grab a rock, throw it on any garage door, and there was a dirt bike in there. You know, there was.
And isn't that? But that's what I think people love Harleys in these rough, crude. They're not technologically advanced in any way, but they smell like gas. You smell the oil. You feel the vibration.
the carbureted motors
And all that stuff gets lost, you know, in new bikes. And there's always going to be a nostalgic craving for that, I think. And there was
that being said, that new Pan America, I think they got it right.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot
want
going on
almost.
there. I haven't ridden one, but it sounds amazing.
Here's the comparison I heard. So BMW just released the R18, is it? The one that looks like the Street Glide?
Oh, yeah.
So they just brought out a Street Glide / Road Glide type of motorcycle, and they're calling that right now like a 75-80% finished product. Like they need
the one with the big ugly motor.
It has the big ugly motor, but if you see the one that has the fairing that looks more like the Street Glide, it looks fucking sexier.
It's
but
a nice looking bike.
It's sexy, and for the price, honestly, I think it's more value than Harley, because it's the same price as the Harley, but you got to change everything on the Harley. But the positioning and the bars, and there's a lot that's like it's not ready. The Pan America, on the other hand, for entering this new industry, they're saying it's a 90-95% finished bike. So they did a fucking home run. It's great, but I still think they need like 2 more years.
It's still leaps and bounds ahead for Harley. You know, I mean,
Well, and normally when Harley tries to do something new, it's a flop.
Yeah,
they hated
exactly.
the V-Rod. They hate on all the, you know, the Livewire is a cool bike, but for Harley, it was a failure. Now it's its
for
own,
the Harley,
its own company. You know, Harley riders have a really hard time attaching to something that isn't a
air-cooled
V twin or whatever. Yeah. And that's the same. They reject the new Sportster and Nightster, even though great handling bike, awesome bike.
Yeah.
But the adventure bike thing is they've done scramblers and, flat track type bikes and different things like that, or rat bikes that people have adapted Harleys, but never quite not in the adventure market. And I think they did a really good job of in a
100%.
completely new market with a really well thought out, dialed in.
I'm so sad that they didn't bring the Bronx out. I was actually excited about that. Mm-hmm. It looks so good. It is what it is.
You keep it that way.
No. I think it's great. It's just because I've never had the camera there.
No, but my best angle is this is my best angle.
That's your best angle.
Yeah, behind the lens.
Do you edit video?
I started to,
Yeah, I'm just set up your phone
to do the opposite side and just cut it in. Yeah,
2 cameras, A and B.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. It's just fuck, man. Like,
It's too
look,
much.
here's
It's way
the
too much
stats, man. Everybody starts a podcast. 90% of people fall off after 3 episodes. Another 90%, or the next 90%, stop doing it after 20 episodes. So one of the reasons I rank so high is just because of the consistency aspects. If you really think about it.
How often do you do your podcast?
Right now, I've been doing a lot, man. I think on average, I probably get like one every 3 to 4 days.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
So
inspired.
recently-
I enjoy this format, and I would love, not that this is bullshit, but I would love to bullshit with my friends who are interesting and record it and make a thing out. Like, I was like, this is so fun and so cool.
It's
I
so
love this
fun.
format.
It's so cool.
Casual.
I mean, I've done this, fucking drinking and getting drunk. And I don't know if you guys know Fast Life Garage. They have a big podcast. They have like 300-400 episodes. He's a painter. He's an artist, and he's a podcaster. And one day he called me up. He's like, I'm in LA. He's from Texas. He's like, I'm from LA. I'm in LA. I'm leaving tomorrow. Want to do a podcast? I was like, yeah, what time can you make it? He's like, 12 a.m. I go, let's do it. And we were here for 4 hours fucking just drinking, and there was weed on the table. It was so fucking crazy. But it's like, you don't know where it's
Why is
going.
ours so lame?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. but it's like,
it's the first one.
Yeah, it's the first one, But it's, his.
You don't want to turn me out? I get that this is my first podcast. Like, we don't want to freak them out.
Trust me, dude. I had so many people
This
hit me.
water is really nice. Thank you.
I told you, if you guys want beer or Chivas, do you guys want a drink?
You know what? I'll take one. Why not?
Take a beer?
Yeah.
Those beers? No, just
Alkaline beers.
I'm a tequila only guy. I got a long ride to Orange County after this.
Yeah, you do.
I'm sober. I used to be tequila.
I'm whiskey.
However, I my new. Oh, thank you, but no, thank you. Fuck.
That's the Rock's.
Now you're playing with my emotions.
Let me see.
I am addicted to my new favorite drink is at a good bar is a whiskey sour with egg white.
Oh yeah. I used to make those all the time.
especially on like I've noticed like going to bike shed and it's hot and being hot like after being on the motorcycle. Mm-hmm. Those things go down so well.
Yeah, it's smooth.
Man.
One thing I miss is beer. That's for sure.
I've never drank a beer in my life.
I had a buddy
Really?
of mine, Bulletproof Welder. He made this for me.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
Balance. You know Bulletproof
That
Welder?
guy does.
He has like one of the baddest diners in the world right now.
Right. Yeah, I've seen his stuff.
May I take a look at that?
Yeah.
I like cool.
Got it.
It's like a weapon.
So you break your own hand with it. You crack all the
Yeah, the whole
all the
inside.
bones from the inside. That's
Thank
cool
you.
though.
That's a good little thought.
Oh, that's awesome. I love little personalized, cool little things. Stay with you.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think? What are we missing? We're talking bikes. Okay. You, Josh, to you real quick. So you know the spots to eat. So may I ask?
Top 5 burgers.
I was gonna say
Oh, no.
top 5 burgers.
Well, I can go for a few of them. One that I've been craving lately is actually Moo's Craft Barbecue. Has an excellent burger that's made out of, I believe they're brisket trimmings. It's a smoked burger. It's amazing.
Mouth watering.
Man, I haven't ate shit all day, man.
I'm so hungry.
I'm with you on
You
that
just
one.
fucked me right there.
Like nothing. Like
It's a solid burger. They're, I believe, just east of downtown. And I forgot the name of it. But one in Santa Monica that just opened up is Heavy Handed. They do a brisket burger short rib burger with chuck, and it's on the Martin's potato roll. It's a smash burger, but not like crazy thin. They've got their own like house sauce, which is kind of like a Thousand Island with a kick, with a kick. And they do, their fries are cooked in beef tallow. So that's Heavy Handed is an amazing burger.
Where is that place?
Heavy Handed is in Santa Monica on Main Street.
What about in the valley?
hood.
In the valley, gosh, I don't eat out here too much. But it's funny, I have to actually refer back to my Instagram feed to find places. I know in Pasadena, there's I believe it's Hap's Burgers. He pops up in the evenings at a brewery, I think in Pasadena. And he does a really good smash burger too.
Have you been to the burger place off of it's old timer spot, Oxnard, near all the shops? I think it's called like Bob's or something. The old timer guy that will not let you
Bob's Burgers, yeah.
He won't let you substitute anything. But
Grumpy old guy, yeah. That's a
grumpy
great
old guy.
classic burger.
It's a great spot. You cannot substitute anything, but the burgers are amazing.
Yeah, it's solid. There's another one that I'm in love with in Pasadena called Pie and Burger.
Okay.
It's really old school, comparable to like the Apple Pan in West LA, and it tastes kind of like an In-N-Out burger, but you get a 1/4 pound patty, and they have excellent pie as well. Really good stuff. Great old school place. Like hasn't changed since they opened, except for the prices, of course.
Another good classic burger spot that I just thought of is because I haven't thought about all these things, but you know, all these places are new, and Smash Burgers is this new thing. But Pache, old school Hollywood restaurant on in the middle of Laurel Canyon, where the country market is and stuff. They have
Pachem.
It's like PACE. Pace is like how it's spelled.
I mean, just like a mile above Sunset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They've always had a really incredible burger. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if they're still open after the pandemic.
It's been a while.
But back in the day, I was just racking my brain. I was thinking
for it.
that is a really good classic, like restaurant burger.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So I did this thing, which I got to make a video that I want to do. But In-N-Out, what I do is I get the fuck, my mouth's watering and shit. I get the In-N-Out burger and I bring it home. So what I'll do is I'll do like a 3x3, but no tomato, no lettuce, just grilled onions and add the chilies. And I'll bring it home and I'll put it in my air fryer for 2 minutes. Dude, the texture of the bread and the crispiness, it's so fucking good.
Next time bring it home, add some really nice avocado to it, and then take a picture.
Hold on.
You do that just to fuck with people on social media.
Yeah.
No, next time,
Put some peppers.
for all you guys, put my fucking peppers on your burger.
Oh, dude,
Those-
100%.
I'm telling you, so we're based out of the Pacific Northwest. Every high-end, top-rated pizza shop, deli, burger spot carries Mama Lil's. They know what's up. Like chefs, it's the quickest, fastest way to make.
I might have to rob some
I was
from
going to
this,
ask if you have some Tupperware, because I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I told him I'm not going to use all of it for the chili. Take
Yeah,
some
yeah.
out for yourself.
I'll definitely fucking do that because I might do the fucking In-N-Out air fryer and add the pep. You know.
And
Yeah.
you know, shameless plug. You know, anybody who's listening who appreciates, you know, good spicy things, and it doesn't blow out your palate or whatnot.
I love spicy. Doesn't matter.
It may not be at your local grocery store wherever you are, but mamalils.com. You can order 6-pack cases and stuff. All our products are available there. And we're also at Mama Lil's Peppers on Instagram. Al Roker from Good Morning America did a big special on us years ago.
Fucking awesome, man.
And we've been featured on a few other things on Food Channel and Food Network. But anyways, get yourself some Mama Lil's because you can literally put it on. It's easier for me to tell you what you can't use it with than to say what you can put it on. It's really great on everything.
Excellent on ice cream.
It is, actually, we had a guy
Sweet.
in the office make a flourless chocolate cake with the peppers, and it was awesome. You know,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet I'll blend it in.
like a spicy chocolate cake, and it was
Look,
I really appreciate it. He just followed your company.
Yeah.
thank you.
That's
appreciate
fucking
that.
awesome. I'll do the same thing. And that's actually a new thing that I did. I just launched my website, rideboundless.net. That's where Eric went on and booked to be on the podcast. So that's where I you know, it's kind of like, you know, it sends out the emails and everything's automated. But there's a shop there, and then there's a members area that if you guys want to log in, I'm going to start building up. And then if you want to promote your brands or your books or anything, you know, and like if you want to offer a discount to that community of the podcast, it would be huge, but you don't have to.
No,
but the idea is
I'll set up like a 10% off discount code or whatever.
Yeah, and exactly. So you could sign up as so instead of doing a Facebook group, you know, I want to control it. Obviously, it benefits the podcast having it done through the website, but you can log in with your Facebook or your Gmail. But anything that has to do with motorcycles or the podcast or that you want to promote, go ahead. You know, awesome. I'm the one approving everything, and I want to build this little community of like fucking helping, you know, businesses out, helping share ideas, helping social media, whatever the case is.
That's a great thing. And I think that's like we talked about, is the sense of community in the motorcycle world. Is we're all kind of these like solo creatures, because, you know, we all have this thing where we like to ride by ourselves and this and that, but we also do have this special community that we share with each other. That's super cool.
I'm laughing because what makes it awesome is we can meet up for a weekend, like, hey guys, let's go fucking ride, right? And as we meet, we're drinking coffee. I'm like, hey, what's up, Eric, Josh, Daniel, what's up? And then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to talk no more. I'm tired of talking. Let's go ride, guys. You put on your helmet, you don't have to talk to anybody. And you're like, fucking.
No, it's all
but there's the camaraderie, and you can feel,
there's just fucking,
and you feel the presence. Like, you know, riding by yourself is fun, but it's also like,
no, you have
having one or two person with you, and you're kind of like trading off.
Yeah, I definitely noticed he checked his mirror a couple of times to see if I was still behind. I was like, yeah,
I'm always checking.
I'm here.
Yeah,
but
it hurts my neck because those mirrors are underneath my handlebars and they don't work.
I've got the Cardo system on my helmet, and I'm never gonna connect it to anybody else's car.
No, that shit is cool. That shit is cool.
Sometimes he talks shit.
I never had one.
You would love it because, you know, well, we're the same age. You know, I'm guessing because 20 years of riding and stuff. Like that fucking thing, I feel like a fucking stormtrooper, and I'm reading into people's brains and stuff. I'm like, Josh, watch out behind you, bro, or you got something on your tire, or
dude,
like, you know,
that would work.
Like you know, there's watch out, there's a Prius, you know. Like,
I just got one this last year.
I actually own a Prius.
Oh, you know, that's the third time that's happened. That's the third time it's happened to me. Like, we won in this month,
and it's actually true. The minute I got the Prius, I became a horrible driver.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it, man.
My good buddy, we went and did the Indian motorcycle demo days down in Orange County
2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's my only other buddy that has the same, you know, scene. I have a few other guys, but we've never connected. But when him and I ride, we connect on that. And it was as we were doing the demo, which is super boring because you're testing these bikes, but you're with some noobs and a group of people, and you're getting led. You're not allowed to do whatever. Yeah. But we got to talk shit the whole time about everybody around us and what was going on, and it made that whole like trying out new bikes for us.
It's amazing.
So much more fun, and being able to, and also with a passenger on the back, like you have your girlfriend on the back of the bike, and you both, instead of going like, "You doing okay back there?" and she's like, "Huh?" And you're like, thumbs up. It's like all of a sudden you're listening to music together at the same time, and then when you talk, it cuts it out. It really is an experience that I'm like, all of a sudden I'm getting to listen to my music, man. But when I need to talk to my friends, say, hey, we're pulling off here, we're turning here. Because think about how many times you're on a group ride with just a couple people and somebody gets stuck at a light or somebody misses the turn. You have to go around. What are we going to do? And then you're like, fuck, I got to get off and text them and call them and this and that.
Yeah.
That
you're just service.
You're just like, hey, we're pulled up right up the street. Come and meet us. It is. I love that shit.
Tell me you got to test drive that FTR.
I did. I tried, but it was like six rides out, and I would have had to wait like 3 hours. So I did the Challenger.
When did you try it?
That bike
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
But I want to ride the FTR.
So I got very lucky with Tina. I tried it before it was even on the market. Oh my God, that thing like had a sketchy clutch. It wanted to pop. Second gear, it wanted to lift. They're like, there's.
But it has a wheelie bar on the back stock. Have you noticed that? It has this ugly, the license plate holder.
That's
like
not
metal.
A wheelie bar.
No, wheelie bar in terms of it prevents you from doing wheelies. Like it sucks. Like it's like the first thing you'd fucking cut off your bike.
The Livewire has that.
Yeah,
I fucking hate that.
Stupid.
Is that what it was? Is that what that?
It's an anti-wheelie bar, is what I should have.
That's retarded.
Well, the Livewire in Malibu.
I can't say retarded.
I do appreciate that. Like they're getting designers to like redo the bike because they did a launch I think about a month ago with a designer. Like he redid the bike and it looks gorgeous.
The FTR.
No, I'm talking about the live wire.
Oh, the live wire. Okay.
No.
Oh, and you guys just made me think about. I just watched a video the other day. There's a new, Suron. They make electric motor, like
like
more
the
like mountain
off-road.
bikes. They're
Yeah.
kind of like, well, they have a new one that's like a full size dirt bike. That's basically like a equivalent to like a 250. That is fast as hell.
Oh yeah, I see
and
people
rips
ripping
and it
around.
looks
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Those are like $6-7 grand, right?
That one is like $8,000, but the mountain bike one that is still like a dirt bike, which is cool because you could take it to mountain bike trails.
Yeah.
And where you could never have a motorcycle, and that one starts at like $4,500.
That mic sounds really fucking good, doesn't it?
It does.
It's not my voice,
I'm looking at the mics and stuff. No, your voice has nothing to fucking do with it.
Exactly.
Calm the fuck down. Like when we take the headphones off, you sound. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that mic is actually performing.
sound like this,
really,
boys.
So what is that mic?
That's a Shure 50.
SM58.
Yeah, FM50.
And
These are the most popular. These are the Rodecaster pod mics.
Okay.
So like this is all like the whole fucking what is it?
These just have, I'm guessing, I can't hear it because I don't have headphones, but it probably has a lot of low end.
Yeah. No,
Like a boom.
It's really good. I mean, that's what I started with. I used to just take that and a portable recorder and just fucking.
This mic has been
So
around since.
what I have to say is like what you were talking about. Like you guys, we all get together. If I just met you at Bike Shed in the parking lot, oh, I like your bike, this and that, and that's one thing I love about the community. It's like all of a sudden we switch info.
Yeah.
Like it sounds weird, but it's not like I'm trying to hit on you, but like, look, can I get your number? So
Like,
we can do-
yeah.
I want to see.
you can
I want to
call
see your
me.
bike pics.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I want to. What's your Instagram?
Yeah,
that's the
it's-
number
it's
one
like
thing.
at, like,
What's your
you know.
Instagram? And that's like the whole circle of like me writing this book is like all three of us barely got to meet you right now because of this,
Yeah.
and that's what I appreciate.
We're forever bonded.
Dun
I
dun
know.
dun.
And we're gonna go on a ride now.
Yay! I love rides. I love rides. It's so
We-
weird. You guys like rides too?
Eric,
Yeah.
will you plug my Moto Misfits chat to these gentlemen?
Oh yeah, his chat is absolutely amazing because like when we were talking about being kids, we're always kids no matter what, and it's funny on that chat we'll have like real conversations here and there, but then there's times we post videos of like I think it was a gentleman riding a Harley and he had like a horse head on it and he was like doing this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and like there was one that I posted, this sick ass plane going by a dirt bike.
I saw that, and the guy was
he
fucking
touches
touching that.
it, and he
Isn't it
grabs
amazing? We all see the same thing.
Yeah.
that's how crazy
But,
social
like,
media
the
is.
algorithm.
That's what I love about like that group. There's no negativity. It's all positive. Like I talked about like, the chili cook-off. People are very nice on there going like, yeah, if I'm in town, I'll make it, stuff like that. So I appreciate, the group that he has in that chat.
That's awesome.
So I'll explain this a little more.
Yeah, where is
So-
that chat?
So, in my, I'm a daily rider, and I'm always like I like riding by myself, but I'm always looking for people to ride with. But I have a lot of friends who have bikes, but aren't necessarily riders. They don't ride all the time, and so I wanted to create a small community amongst people I knew and bring them into one place. So when I want to go ride, I don't have to like put out a chat to 20 different or a message to 20 different people. So I started this group called Moto Misfits, and it really is a group of misfits in that they're Ducati riders, Harley riders, Triumph riders. I mean, everything in between, guys and girls. And it's this really, I try to keep the memes to a minimum, but they are part of it or whatever. But really, it's just a way for people to say, hey, I'm going to go hit the canyons today, or who's riding this weekend.
Is it a group chat?
It's just a group
Yeah.
chat.
Oh, okay.
But it's turned into this like
But,
forum.
is it on WhatsApp or
Instagram. It's
No,
just
it's on Instagram.
like
Got
once
it.
you follow me, and then I just have started adding people. I think we're around like 50 people at this
Yeah.
point.
When I first met
But
you,
it's
you were
all
at, like,
local
40.
LA riders, and like here's a great thing about it is occasionally unfortunately riders go down, but we have guys in the chat. A couple guys like my buddy Luke. Anytime somebody goes down, he sends them ramen. While they're laid up at home to make them feel better. Certain people, their brake switch goes out or some sort of bike issue, and so we got
to get to the story of like
a bunch of
there
people
was
that are all helping each
a
other.
gentleman
out.
that had an issue with his oil. There, The Triumph.
Who needed oil and
and
you
then
know,
he started-
and
it was
all of a
almost
sudden
late at
everybody
night.
jumps in and gives
We're
them
like-
resources on
because
where
if-
and how he can get his bike home and this and
Yeah,
that.
if
And it's
AutoZone
just-
is open,
that's
go to
badass.
Ralph's, go to 7-Eleven. It's cheap shit. It sucks, but if you're just trying to get home, just do it real quick.
100%.
And sometimes it's just a resource, for you can. I'm sure you could Google that stuff or whatever, but there's so many people on it that are willing to help and being a part
Well,
of this community.
it's not only that. It's just sometimes you get into a fucking situation, your brain just farts, and you're just like,
or somebody's near you.
oh my god, I need gas. I don't know where to get gas. And it's like, and then after the situation, like, I could have walked my bike 2 blocks away, or whatever the case.
And we go on really cool
or
group
Googled
rides.
it, but you don't think about it. So those group chats are really fucking important.
And we actually get together and have these random groups of people who, like we were talking about, come from all walks of life. And we get these hodgepodges of riders that go out and we ride around the city or up in the canyons or wherever we go. And it's growing, and it's been a really awesome experience that really just started out as a few people. And I'm happy to add you guys and stuff, but it's for people who go, I want to go for a ride this weekend, but I don't know where I want to ride, who's riding or this and that. It's just, you're instantly tapped into a really positive, fun group of people. There's no bullshit, no hating, no guys trying to,
Do you have to have a Dinah to be in the group?
You do.
I need people to eat with because I'm always
there you
going
go.
to eat. And it's like,
Are you kidding me? That'd be
help.
perfect.
All you have to do is
get
buy
so
me a
much
burger
content.
and I'll be your burger buddy.
I got you, buddy.
Oh, he got me tacos once, and
It's for your content, right? It's as an expense. It's a write-off. No,
I
I'm
get
kidding.
a lot of food.
I'm just, but no, I'm always like, what I said to you was more true about me than when I said all writers need a destination. For me, my destination usually is sunset, somewhere with a view, somewhere to just calm my mind.
Do you have a sunset group?
I should, right?
You should. That'd be actually a good
badass.
name.
Sunset Riders.
Sunset Rider, and we make fucking like sunset patches and shit. I think that's
I'll
dope.
bring the blanket.
Actually, I do too, because riding off into the sunset.
Oh my god!
I'll bring the
What's-
blanket and the bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Well, here I'll put this for perspective. Only people that live in California, Oregon, Washington get to see the sunset over the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And
How about
only
that?
us Californians get to ride almost year round.
We take it.
No,
we do
we,
ride
no,
it.
we only get 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, only 12.
Only.
Yeah, and then another thing is, just had a brain fart.
All for me.
All right,
I
so
need people to help.
Let me
it's like,
see.
sorry, babe, I
gotta see if
I
I'm
got a
fucking my
motorcycle date tonight.
I know, right? Who are you going out with? How dare you?
Oh, but this is like Armenian food, dude. I do this like 3 times a week.
Yeah, that was all for me.
Yeah, no, I do this 3 times a week.
I can help you out.
My wife's Armenian, so like
Okay.
they do like,
Masses kebab?
huh?
This is Masses kebab.
Oh, I know Masas kebab. Yeah, I love that fucking food.
Well, as equally as I am excited meeting.
But I'm down.
other-
I would have gone 100%. Don't worry.
I'm excited to be on my first podcast. Excited to meet a couple new riders, but also excited to meet a new food buddy as well to go ride motorcycles and get food with.
Eric, I gotta
it's full
say,
circle.
I gotta say, cheers, man. Thank you for contacting me. I am glad you guys all showed up. This is a true honor. Cheers.
Definitely.
We did 2 hours. So I don't know if you guys know that, but we did 1 hour and 57 minutes, which is fucking pretty amazing.
Thank you to those who have maybe stuck around this long.
I know.
Am I supposed to plug myself at some point?
Yeah, exactly. We're supposed to exactly. You didn't do that. God damn it.
The Hangry Rider. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to follow.
Great
me.
name, by the
Website?
way.
Anything?
Nah,
No.
it's mostly. It started off mostly on Instagram. Then my
That just takes
TikTok
more
grew.
time, but you'll get more exposure on those other platforms.
Yeah, they're all growing.
But no. And then just one more time, and then spell it. And
It's the_hangry_rider.
awesome.
You'll see a picture of a helmet with a hamburger.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You might as well get him. I'd love to be last.
Okay. Let me get hold on. Let me get the camera on him.
Oh, shit.
Use this as clips later.
Yeah.
My name's Daniel Bax. You can find my personal Instagram, which has a lot of motorcycle content. Bax Images, BAXIMAGES. And my pickled pepper company is called Mama Lil's Pickled Peppers. You see that jar right here. And the website is www.mamalils.com. MAMALILS.com. And our Instagram is at Mama Lil's Peppers. We also have a Facebook as well, which is probably just type in Mama Lil's Peppers. You'll find us. And I hope you guys get to try it. And 2 wheels down.
Do you pick the peppers that you pickle?
We do not pick them. Well, we're a pretty big operation. We actually harvest around 250,000 to 1 million pounds of peppers at a time. So
amazing.
It's a pretty big operation, and the agricultural business is tough. Let me tell you, there's all kinds of things that come up here and there with weather and different things like that. But yeah, it's too big to be a solo venture. So we mostly grow in the Yakima Valley up in the Pacific Northwest because it's an arid climate where it's hot during the day and cold at night, which makes for nice crunchy peppers.
Nice.
But yeah,
That's
sometimes we
fucking
grow in California and in Mexico when we have to or whatever. But
Oh gosh, Hatch chilies from New Mexico.
So-
Those are to die for.
To finish off, I'm Eric Summers. You can find me on Instagram as Stylish Scrambler. And then the cookbook is on Instagram called Iron Fire Motorcyclist Cookbook. For the book itself, it's going to be Iron Fire, the Motorcyclist Cookbook.